Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Everyone, the river god is weak. The Milky Way is also a river. Chapter 41. Is that so? It seems that if you want to get more fire element stones, you have to try your luck at B level and D level resource points. Sha Yubing felt a little pity. D level resource points are the lowest level resource points in Soul Sacrifice Battle. Even if the D-level fire elemental stone is extremely suitable for sacrificing spirits, the effect may not be better than other C-level elemental stones. Little Commander, I'll tell you the coordinates. Can you use your skills to connect to my altar? This will make it more convenient for me when I go back. Sha Yubing is already close to this fire attribute C-level resource point. But it takes 2 hours to walk here from the altar. The sacrificial spirit cannot leave the altar. If she wants to swallow the elemental stone and achieve transformation, she has to go home from time to time. This time, 4 hours were wasted on the road, which is not cost-effective. Therefore, she hoped that Lu Chuan could solve this problem, even if the coordinates of the altar were revealed and more rewards were given. Yes, but setting up a teleportation point at your altar is equivalent to opening a new high-speed rail route. It cannot be done with 10 C-level elemental stones. Lu Chuan paused. He was thinking about how many elemental stones would be appropriate to collect. Little Commander, I gave you 20 elemental stones for travel expenses, but we only have 80 elemental stones in total. Sha Yubing was a little troubled. The fire element stones on her and Tang Yu's bodies are very important to her. She also thought about collecting 50 light element stones and replacing all the fire element stones on Tang Yu's body. It's not expensive. Just 50 C-level elemental stones. You don't need to give it now. When you are rich, just wrap the elemental stone in the letter and put them in the well. When the teleportation point to your altar is opened and you use undercurrent again, I will be able to convey the information to you. After Lu Chuan gave a brief explanation, he began to brush the nearby elemental elves. He couldn't use undercurrent to see clearly who was teleporting. However, the touch that can be conveyed through undercurrent surge can be used to analyze which familiar people have entered the underground river and whether to activate undercurrent surge. Okay, Little Commander, when we have enough money, we will contact you through the well. Sha Yubing nodded and jumped into the well with Tang Yu. Under the package and high-speed transmission of undercurrent surge, the two quickly arrived at the sea-level resource point with light attributes. These are all elemental elves with light attributes. The Little Commander really trusts them. The two girls were extremely excited and once again devoted themselves to killing monsters. They must rush to raise enough undercurrent elemental stones to connect to their own altar before dark. Purple Worm Altar. Xiao Fan is using B-level thunder elemental stones to feed purple insects to sacrifice spirits. I'm really lucky. A B-level thunder attribute resource point is only an hour away from my altar. The only pity is that one resource point can only obtain 50 elemental stones within 24 hours. I want to obtain more elemental stones. I have to go to other resource points. I waste time on the road and cannot show my full strength. Xiao Fan had a headache. Purple insects eat 50 B-level thunder element stones and gain 5,000 points. Name: Purple Insect. Master: Xiao Fan. Level: 5. HP: 6,000. Strength: 65. Agility: 65. Physique: 65. Spirit: 65. Skills: Simultaneous Life, Devouring. As expected of the Soul Sacrifice Battle, this upgrade speed is too fast. If it were me, it would be difficult to upgrade from level 1 to level 5 in one day. As long as you keep it up, the level of the Spirit Sacrifice will even surpass mine. I have to work harder to make the purple insect evolve into a thunder dragon. Xiao Fan took a look at the rankings and found that his name was ranked first. First place: Xiao Fan. Points: 5,000. He also specifically searched for Lu Chuan's name and found that Lu Chuan's points were 0 and he had not touched them yet. Is cheating useful? So what if I scored 1,500,000 points in the college entrance examination? When it comes to competitive dungeons based on real skills, without the support of strength, you can't even get 1 point, and a quota is wasted. Xiao Fan smiled disdainfully and started to check the points of Shu Luoxia and Yi Chen. In his eyes, Lu Chuan was no match at all. Only Shu Luoxia and Yi Chen, who were both gods of war, were qualified to compete with him. It's also 0. It seems that Shu Luoxia and Yi Chen have been farming resource points outside and haven't returned to the altar once. Xiao Fan laughed proudly, feeling that he must be the leader in this battle to sacrifice the spirits. If Shu Luoxia and Yi Chen were like themselves, the suitable resource point was very close to the altar, and they would have come back to feed the spirits long ago, and would not have been able to stay outside for such a long time. His strength and luck are both top-notch, and no one can be his opponent in the battle of soul sacrifice. Dark night is approaching, and the worshippers are about to face the second challenge. Masters, please return to the altar in time to help the sacrificial spirits tide over the difficulties. The prompt sound spread throughout the entire dungeon, and everyone rushed to their own altars in a hurry, fearing that something might happen to their sacrifice souls. It's time to go back. Lu Chuan happened to reach the upper limit of B-level and C-level resource point rewards, and quickly teleported to the Blackfish altar through Undercurrent. I harvested 500 B-level elemental stones and 700 C-level elemental stones today. I don't know how many points I can get. Lu Chuan smiled and poured all the elemental stones into Heiyu's altar. While cooperating with Sha Yubing and Tang Yu, he earned 200 C-level elemental stones using travel expenses. 1,200 elemental stones. How did the master do it? Looking at the hill of elemental stones, the Blackfish's eyes shone brightly, and he began to gnaw like a hungry wolf. Because of its attributes, its first food target is the water elemental stone. Blackfish eats 50 B-level water element stones and gets 5,000 points. Blackfish eats 50 B-level earth element stones and gets 1,000 points. Blackfish eats 50 C-level water element stones and gets 500 points. Blackfish eats 50 C-level gold element stones and gets 100 points. I see. Lu Chuan analyzed the priorities between elemental stones through point feedback. A B-level water elemental stone provides 100 points. A B-level elemental stone with different attributes only provides 20 points, which is 20% of the one with matching attributes. A C-level water elemental stone provides 10 points. A C-level elemental stone with different attributes only provides 2 points, which is pitiful. Even if B-level elemental stones have different attributes, the point bonus is higher than C-level water elemental stones. Therefore, pursuing high-quality elemental stones is better than pursuing elemental stones with the same properties. Of course, if high quality and similar attributes can be achieved at the same time, it will naturally be the best result. After consuming 1,200 elemental stones, Lu Chuan gained 15,800 points, and the Blackfish sacrifice spirit also underwent a very impressive transformation. Name: Blackfish. Level: 8. HP: 20,800. Power: 100. Agility: 100. Spirit: 100. Physique: 100. Skills: simultaneous life, devouring. Now that I have reached level 8, I should be able to easily handle the next challenges. Lu Chuan was very satisfied with the attributes of Blackfish. The blood volume was comparable to that of monsters with boss auras. As for how to improve Heiyu's potential, he still needs to study it. The sky gradually darkened, and except for the light emitted by the altar and the sacrificial spirit, the rest of the place was pitch black and nothing could be seen. Suddenly, more than a dozen pairs of blood-red eyes lit up from a distance, getting closer and closer. The first challenge of soul sacrifice is now open. Except for auxiliary skills, the master will not be able to intervene in the battle of soul sacrifice. Only auxiliary skills can be used. Lu Chuan checked his personal panel and found that River God's Whip and Water Dragon Bullet had failed, and his strength attribute had also become 0. However, auxiliary skills such as River God Legend, River God Domain, and Nehi Domain can still be used. Is this a protection for supporting professions? The altars for the soul sacrifice battle are randomly assigned. It will not be like the college entrance examination, where the professionals in the team will be assigned together. Auxiliary professions are at a disadvantage when farming resources, but they are a huge advantage when accepting challenges. But Lu Chuan is different. With his level crushing and undercurrent, he has great advantages in farming resources and running maps. Coupled with auxiliary skills such as River God Realm and Nehi Realm, when the spirit sacrifice accepts the challenge, it also has huge advantages and no shortcomings at all. Ouch! A loud howl of wolves was heard, and 5 blood-eyed wolves came out of the night to kill, looking at Blackfish with greedy eyes. 5 level 2 monsters. Lu Chuan had no desire to take action. Blackfish relied on his level advantage to shoot out his tail like a fan, and the 5 blood-eyed wolves died suddenly on the spot. Kill 5 level 2 blood-eyed wolves and get 100 points. The first stage challenge is successful. The host can make the following choices. 1. Recycling challenges. 2. Challenge the second stage. 2. Lu Chuan didn't hesitate. There is no difficulty in the first stage of Blackfish, so there is no need to cycle through challenges. The second phase has started. Immediately afterwards, 10 level 3 blood-eyed wolves rushed out. Blackfish still killed a large area with one tail, killing them all in 2 moves. Kill 10 level 3 blood-eyed wolves and get 200 points. The second stage challenge is successful. The host can make the following choices. 2. 15 level 4 blood-eyed wolves charged out, and Heu was still able to deal with them due to his level advantage. Kill 15 level 4 blood-eyed wolves and get 400 points. Blackfish completed the challenge again and again, and Lu Chuan continued to increase the difficulty. Every time the difficulty increases, the level of the blood-eyed wolf will be +1, and the number will be +5, and the points earned will be doubled. When the strength is strong enough, the greater the difficulty, the better. In the fourth stage, there are 20 level 5 blood-eyed wolves. Blackfish's spawning speed has slowed down, but he can still pass the level and get 800 points. In the fifth stage, there are 25 level 6 blood-eyed wolves. Since Blackfish has not mastered the skills and there are so many blood-eyed wolves, it has become more and more difficult. However, with the 160% all-attribute bonus of River God Realm, the battle situation was instantly reversed, and 25 blood-eyed wolves were killed by the tail of the fish. Kill 25 level 6 blood-eyed wolves and get 1,600 points. The 5 rounds of challenges have ended. Your challenge points are 3,000, and the time to complete all challenges is 40 minutes and 32 seconds. When all the spirit sacrifice challenges are over, today's ranking rewards will be settled. As the 5-round challenge over, 3,000 challenge points are far behind my 15,800 collection points. Lu Chuan was resting at the altar, quietly waiting for today's ranking reward. Red Bird Altar. Can't help. Shu Luoxia frowned and could only watch the red bird sacrifice spirit fighting alone. She was not lucky. The altar was 3 hours away from the nearest B-level resource point. After finally walking over, it was still a water attribute resource point, which was completely incompatible with her fire attribute sacrifice spirit. Coupled with the reminder of dark night is coming, in the dungeon, she had to rush back early and brush up a C-level metallic resource point on the way. At the end of the day, as the god of war, she only gained 1,500 points, allowing the red bird sacrifice spirit to reach level 3. To be on the safe side, she can only cycle 5 rounds in the first stage, with only 500 challenge points. My luck is so bad. I only gained 2,000 points today. How should I win the championship next? Shu Luoxia gritted her teeth tightly, feeling very aggrieved. As the god of war, she is definitely powerful. But because of bad luck, a busy day can be said to be half the result with twice the result. Look at other people's results. I hope everyone is as unlucky as me. After Shu Luoxia took a few deep breaths, she opened the ranking list. First place, Lu Chuan. Points, 18,800. Second place, Xiao Fan. Points, 6,100. Third place, Lu Ruyan. Points, 6,000. Fourth place, Yi Chen. Points, 5,800. Why are their points so high? People are more infuriating than people. Shu Luoxia's mood was already bad. After comparing it with the other 3 gods of war, her mood became even worse. And it was not just the queen of the god of war who surpassed her, but also the legitimate daughter of the Lu family in the imperial capital. Although Lu Ruyan is also an SSS level professional, there is still a certain gap between the wealthy family that has been passed down from generation to generation and the invincible god of war. Except for Lu Chuan who cheated, I am the top pick in the country. But under the influence of luck, Xiao Fan, Yi Chen, and Lu Ruyan's points are 3 times as high as mine. When she thought of her biggest competitors, it was difficult to find her name on the ranking list. She couldn't help but feel hot and ashamed. Wait a minute, why is Lu Chuan's name still ranked first? And the points have reached 18,800. 3 times as many as the second place. After Shu Luoxia reacted, she was completely stunned. As a cheater, Lu Chuan should have revealed his true colors in the soul sacrifice battle. Why can he still lead by a cliff in points? And with a score of 18,800, she couldn't figure out how Lu Chuan did it even if she broke her head. The map of Battle of Souls is so big, doesn't it take time to travel? After finally arriving at the nearest resource point, does it definitely match the attributes of my own spirit sacrifice? If a person wants to score 18,800 points, it is not enough to be able to hit, he must also be able to run. How did Lu Chuan, as a sea-level river god, be able to fight and run at the same time? Even if Lu Chuan inherited the SSS level Wine Sword Immortal from the God of War, there would be no way he could get this score. Purple Worm Altar. 18,800 points, it shouldn't be. Xiao Fan looked at Lu Chuan's points and was also in disbelief. Competitive dungeons came into being due to the law of heaven and were very different from man-made dungeons. No matter how powerful the God of War is, it is impossible for Lu Chuan to cheat in the competitive copy. However, Lu Chuan's 18,800 points indeed appear in the rankings. There is no way to fake it. Is it possible that Lu Chuan is really strong? But Lu Chuan's river god profession is also something that cannot be faked. How could a sea-level profession, and the well-known trash river god, score 18,800 points in the soul sacrifice battle in less than a day? Is it possible that Lu Chuan was very lucky and found a bug in the soul sacrifice battle on the first day? Xiao Fan only thought of this possibility. After all, there are times when things go wrong in the way of heaven. Whenever a benign bug appears in a copy, the human race can take advantage of this to get twice the result with half the effort and make a lot of money. However, when the copy bug is exploited too many times, Tiandao will urgently fix it. Lu Chuan had no strength and relied solely on bugs to gain a temporary lead. When the bug is fixed, all of Lu Chuan's problems will be exposed, and the leader of the soul sacrifice war will definitely be him. Lu Ruyan and Yi Chen's points are about the same as mine. They must have encountered B-level resource points that are suitable for spiritual sacrifice during today's resource collection. If I want to maintain my advantage, I have to work harder. However, Battle of Soul Sacrifice is not a dungeon that relies solely on strength, luck is also very important. Shu Luoxia, who is also the god of war but only has 2,000 points, is the best example. I don't know if my good luck can last forever. Xiao Fan frowned slightly. He likes to use absolute strength to open the way instead of pinning his future on illusory luck. Today's soul sacrifice challenge has ended, and today's ranking rewards will be settled soon. First place, Lu Chuan. Points, 18,800. Challenge progress, Stage 5. Today's clearance speed, 40 minutes and 23 seconds. Rating, SSS. Reward 5,000 points. Second place, Xiao Fan. Points, 6,100. Challenge progress, the third stage. Today's clearance speed, 1 hour and 11 minutes. Rating, SSS. Reward 4,000 points. Third place, Lu Ruyan. Reward 3,500 points. Fourth place, Yi Chen. Reward 3,000 points. The dungeon announcement lasts for a long time, and the lower the ranking, the fewer points will be awarded. The top 100 will be rewarded with more than 1,000 points. 100 to 500 people will receive 800 points. 501 to 1,000 people will receive 500 points. No 1,001 to 2,000 will receive 300 points. Those ranked from 2,001 to 5,000 will receive 100 points. Lu Chuan already has 18,800 points, plus the ranking reward of 5,000 points, he has 23,800 points. And it was also the first day. Lu Chuan actually reached the 5th stage, beating me in difficulty and time. It's a pity that in the Soul Sacrifice Challenge, except for auxiliary professions, there is no way to intervene. Otherwise, how could Lu Chuan defeat me in the Spirit Sacrifice Challenge, even with huge points as support? Xiao Fan was very unhappy. If Lu Chuan hadn't discovered the bug, the ranking reward of 5,000 points would have definitely been his. And Lu Chuan holds so many points, the strength of the Spirit Sacrifice must be very strong. Even after Tiandao fixed the bug, Lu Chuan could not obtain resources efficiently due to his lack of strength. He still relied on his current foundation to hold the first place for several days. Red Bird Altar. It's over. The ranking rewards on the first day are so generous. How should I compete for the leader position in the soul sacrifice battle next? After the rewards were settled, Shu Luoxia's mood became even worse. After she became the god of war, she was obviously very strong, but due to luck, she was ranked 80th and only received a ranking reward of 1,200 points. Every step is slow, every step is slow. The competition in soul sacrifice battle is very cruel. If she doesn't find a way to break the situation, she will be the most awkward among the Queen of War God. At the same time, Li Feiyu was also looking at the rankings. Lu Chuan is such a pervert, he can still lead by a cliff in the soul sacrifice battle. The ratings of Xiao Fan, Lu Ruyan, and Yi Chen are the same as Lu Chuan's, they are all SSS level. It's just that there is no higher rating level in Battle of Soul Sacrifice. Only very lucky SSS level professionals can get around 6,000 points on the first day. It is difficult for SS level professionals to gain the strength of B level resource points alone. Even if they encounter suitable C level resource points, they can only collect about 2,000 points. At the beginning of the Soul Sacrifice Challenge, even the first stage was very difficult, and there was no confidence to challenge the second stage. Even for powerful people like Xiao Fan, Lu Ruyan, and Yi Chen, the Spirit Sacrifice Challenge stopped at the third stage. And Lu Chuan cleared the fifth stage on the first day. If it weren't for the fact that there were only 5 Soul Sacrifice challenges, Lu Chuan might have been able to reach a higher stage. As for those S-level professionals, due to the low resource collection, the first stage was very painful. When the sacrificial spirit accepts the challenge, he still has to use his body to pull monsters in order to help the sacrificial spirit overcome the difficulties. Fortunately, after the spirit sacrifice challenge is over, even the bottom 5,000 people will be rewarded with 100 points, which can give them some comfort. Blackfish Altar. 23,800 points, not bad, not bad. The ranking reward is a full 5,000, which is higher than when I complete the Soul Sacrifice Challenge. Lu Chuan was very satisfied with the result. With an additional 5,000 points, Blackfish was upgraded from level 8 to level 9, becoming stronger. The ranking rewards have been settled, the A-level resource points have been refreshed, and the level of the Spirit Sacrifice will bring feedback to the Master. The A-level resource points have been refreshed, and the Spirit Sacrifice also brought me feedback. Lu Chuan's eyes lit up and he quickly checked his panel. Name: Lu Chuan. Level: 60 plus 9 temporary level increase in the Soul Sacrifice battle. Occupation: River God, second turn. Strength: 6,900. Agility: 6,900. Physique: 6,900. Spirit: 6,900. Skills: River God's Domain, River God's Legend, Nehi's Domain, Nehi's Legend, Elementalization, River God's Whip, Water Dragon Bomb, Rapids, Undercurrent Surge. Equipment: Green Scale Set. Blackfish has reached level 9, which directly raised my level by 9 levels. However, this level 9 is a temporary level. After that Soul Sacrifice battle is over, it will most likely become ineffective. It has the same nature as the Devouring Evolution mastered by Blackfish. Lu Chuan carefully analyzed the levels fed back by the Spirit Sacrifice. This level increase allowed him to break the level limit of the second rank. However, this improvement is only a quantitative change, not a qualitative change after 3 turns. There is a big difference. Soul Sacrifice battle feedback the level of the Master through the Spirit Sacrifice, which is only to facilitate the Master to explore higher level resource points. Next, everyone's access to resources will become faster. As long as Undercurrent works well, I can earn more travel expenses. Lu Chuan doesn't mind if others get more benefits, as long as he gets the most benefits. It takes time for the Undercurrent underground river to spread to the A-level resource point. Before that, Lu Chuan couldn't be idle and planned to go to the B-level resource point to get some elemental stones. Relying on their level advantage, these elemental elves can all be punched one at a time, which is very efficient. He quickly reached the upper limit of 10 B-level resource points and harvested 500 B-level elemental stones. After finishing the B-level resource points, Undercurrent connected exactly 6 A-level resource points. Lu Chuan decisively teleported over. Looking around, several fire elemental elves were basking in the sun. They were much larger than the elemental elves at B-level resource points. Name: Elemental Spirit Fire. Level: 10. Strength: 45. Agility: 45. Physique: 130. Spirit: 45. Skills: Hardening, Fire Breath. A-level resource points are all level 10 elemental elves. As a level 60 professional, Lu Chuan can still punch one punch with his 4-digit attributes. There is no difference between brushing B-level resource points and C-level resource points. It takes exactly the same amount of time to crush a smaller ant to death as it does to crush a larger ant to death. After feeding A-level elemental stones, the harvest from the sacrifice to the spirits will inevitably be greater. Lu Chuan smiled and decisively headed to the next A-level resource point. Water Attribute A-level resource points. A peerless girl with picturesque features and graceful figure is brushing the elemental elves. Every time she takes a shot, it will be accompanied by the loud sound of Phoenix and the blazing flame, which is extremely elegant. As the second-ranked SSS level Phoenix Divine Envoy in the country, she has the ability to fight beyond the next level. Coupled with the level feedback brought by the spirit sacrifice, it is not a problem to brush the level 10 elemental elves alone. Goddess of Luck finally favored me. This A-level resource point is only 2 hours away from my altar. It's a pity that this A-level resource point is not of fire attribute, so my sacrifice to the spirit cannot gain greater benefits. Shu Luoxia was still troubled, feeling that it was difficult for her to overtake Xiao Fan, Yi Chen and others. When she killed the 21st water elemental elf, she suddenly spotted a familiar figure and immediately shouted, "Brother Lu Chuan." Sister Luoxia, what a coincidence. Lu Chuan smiled. He had just finished swiping 50 A-grade water element stones and was about to leave. Brother Lu Chuan, why did you come here? There are all level 10 monsters here. It would be bad if an accident happens. Shu Luoxilian walked over slowly. She didn't think that Lu Chuan's 23,800 points were obtained by his own skills. He must have discovered a bug in the soul sacrifice battle. With their relationship as childhood sweethearts, they might be able to figure out this bug and overtake Xiao Fan and Yi Chen. But after all calculations, her worries were real. River God is recognized as a useless profession that is rare, weak, has low potential, has many restrictions, and is difficult to grow. Rare can be said to be the only advantage. Because life-related occupations are better than River God, no one wants their occupation to be River God. Moreover, the monsters in the A-level resource points are all level 10. At this point in time, it is not a place where C-level professionals should come, not even S-level professionals. What accident can happen? I have 23,800 points, and the sacrifice spirit has reached level 9. Lu Chuan smiled slightly and revealed the 50 water element stones he had just collected. Has the sacrifice spirit reached level 9? Shu Luoxia felt sour instantly. In soul sacrifice battle, the level of the sacrificial spirit can bring the same amount of feedback to the master. Lu Chuan has a level 9 sacrificial spirit. Even if it is only level 1, it can still have level 10 strength. In addition, water resource points are one of the few places where the river god can play a role. It is not impossible to kill 50 level 10 water elemental elves. Brother Lu Chuan, how did you get so many points on the first day? After Xiao Fan and Yi Chen became gods of war with you, they only have about 10,000 points this day, which is completely incomparable to you. And I was unlucky and only got 3,200 points. Shu Luoxia looked pitiful and wanted to extract the bug that Lu Chuan had mastered. Anyway, the two of them were childhood sweethearts, and she was already accustomed to acting coquettishly and cutely towards Lu Chuan. Follow me. Lu Chuan knew that business was coming and walked decisively in the direction of the well. Brother Lu Chuan, you actually told me the method without hesitation. Shu Luoxia was very excited. The more times a bug is used, the greater the possibility of attracting Tiandao's attention. The more people take advantage of the soul sacrifice battle bug, the greater the chance that this bug will be fixed. Therefore, when a bug is discovered, either you can keep silent and make a fortune, or you can tell a lot of people, launch a surprise attack with Tiandao, and make a lot of money. When he came to a well, Lu Chuan stopped and said, "Just jump into this well and you can teleport to the resource point you want to go to." This is actually the teleportation well of Battle of Soul Sacrifice. Shu Luoxia was a little surprised. "Why, have you seen him before?" Lu Chuan raised his eyebrows. "I saw it at AB level resource point, but after studying it for a while, I found that there was nothing special about it, so I stopped paying attention to it." Shu Luoxia asked, "Brother Lu Chuan, how do you use the teleportation shaft? If fixed point teleportation can be realized, my speed of collecting elemental stones will definitely be greatly accelerated. Just give me the elemental stones. Go to the B level resource point and give me 10 B level elemental stones. Go to the A level resource point and give 10 A level elemental stones." Lu Chuan reported his price. 10 elemental stones. For those who are fast at spawning monsters and slow at running maps, this is definitely a surefire deal. After mastering the use of the teleportation well, I can definitely overtake Xiaofan and Yi Chen. Shu Luoxia's eyes lit up. Once she has finished all the rewards from the water attribute A-level resource points, she will use this teleportation well without hesitation. As for the matter of bringing the elemental stone to Lu Chuan, she subconsciously ignored it. She doesn't think the teleportation well is Lu Chuan's masterpiece. Even if she has to pay travel expenses, it shouldn't be given to Lu Chuan, but to the teleportation well. "For the sake of my childhood sweetheart, I can give you a 20% discount and tell you where the fire attribute points are." Lu Chuan will give some benefits to those close to him, unlike some people who specifically catch those close to him. 20% off. Do you have the final say on this kind of thing? Shu Luoxia was a little confused. The teleportation shaft covering the entire dungeon should be one of the settings of the dungeon, just like the spirit sacrifice challenge at night. Lu Chuan, like himself, is a student who participated in the War of Soul Sacrifice. How could he possibly shake the dungeon settings of War of Sacrifice of Souls? Lu Chuan said, "This teleportation well is my skill, called Undercurrent. If you want to get as high a score as I do, it's not enough to be strong, you also have to have a very strong map running ability. Can your Undercurrent realize the fixed point legend?" Shu Luoxia was a little confused. Ordinary river gods definitely don't have such strong skills, let alone covering multiple resource points. The attributes of the sacrificial spirit are generally similar to those of the master, so the water element stone may not be compatible with your sacrificial spirit. I would like to use A-grade fire element stones to trade you for some A-grade water element stones. Lu Chuan took out 50 A-level fire element stones to prove his ability to teleport at fixed points. Moreover, the A-grade water elemental stones collected by Shu Luoxia are indeed what he wants and must be obtained in exchange. 50 A-grade fire element stones. Shu Luoxia used the detection technique and found that the 50 A-level fire element stones were all genuine. You need to know that the next A-level resource point is 4 hours away from here. In addition, it will also take a certain amount of time for Lu Chuan to brush the elemental elves here. Without the ability to teleport at fixed points, Lu Chuan would not have been able to get all 50 A-level fire element stones and water element stones. With this in mind, she already believed 80% of the teleportation function of Undercurrent. For the last 20%, you have to personally test the effect of Undercurrent Surge before you can completely finalize it. Brother Lu Chuan, please wait a moment. With my strength, I can quickly fill up the 50 A-level water element stones. Shu Luoxia replaced all the water element stones on hand with fire element stones, and then devoted herself to spawning monsters. As the god of war, the SSS level Phoenix Divine Envoy naturally spawned monsters very quickly. The 50 water element stones were quickly filled up, and all of them were exchanged with Lu Chuan. Lu Chuan said, "The fire element stone is very important to you, so you don't have to pay for the travel expenses in a hurry. When you get other A-level elemental stones, just throw the travel expenses you owed into the well. As long as you attach a letter, I'll know it's from you." The two were childhood sweethearts, so he naturally trusted them. Even if he really encounters the situation of not giving it, the worst he can do is cancel Shu Luoxia's permission to use Undercurrent. Still coveting the 20% off travel expenses, we still have to use the teleportation function of Undercurrent. As long as you are sane, you will definitely choose the latter. Thank you, Brother Lu Chuan. Shu Luoxia smiled sweetly, feeling that Lu Chuan was very considerate. Under the transmission of undercurrent surge, it soon appeared in the fire attribute A-level resource point. Brother Lu Chuan didn't lie to me, undercurrent really teleported me to another A-level resource point. And the transmission speed is really fast, and the transmission process is very comfortable, just like taking a bath. At the end of the transfer, no part of my body was wet, it was perfect. Even if Brother Lu Chuan doesn't have any fighting ability, with this skill alone, he is still a very rare strategic talent. No wonder the god of war, for the sake of Brother Lu Chuan's growth, didn't even care about the public opinion of the world, and insisted on letting Brother Lu Chuan keep the college entrance examination results that he could only achieve by cheating. Looking at the level 10 fire element elves around her, Shu Luoxia was overjoyed. The fire attribute A-level resource point is a full 7 hours away from her altar, which is a relatively far resource point. Without Lu Chuan's undercurrent, it would be difficult for her to explore resource points so far away even if she knew they were fire attributed. After all, it takes 14 hours to go back and forth. At night, you have to feed the sacrificial spirit and help the sacrificial spirit overcome the challenges of the spirit sacrifice. There is no time at all. Without Brother Lu Chuan's help, my luck would still lag behind Xiaofan and Yi Chen. Shu Luoxia's eyes lit up. Although she did not find out the bug of the soul sacrifice battle on Lu Chuan, under the high-speed transmission of undercurrent surge, she still had the confidence to overtake Xiaofan and Yi Chen. I have to collect 40 A-grade elemental stones as soon as possible. As long as the altar is covered by Brother Lu Chuan's undercurrent, my map running ability will definitely be stronger. She squeezed her fists, full of energy. Time passed quickly, and Lu Chuan used his fists to fill up all A-level, B-level, and C-level resources. Xia Yubing and Tang Yu are making rapid progress. As SS-level professionals, they are collecting A-level resource points just like SSS-level professionals. Lu Chuan roughly judged the situation of Xia Yubing and Tang Yu through the travel expenses given by them. Throughout the day, Xia Yubing and Tang Yu spent 6 A-level resource points, allowing him to earn 120 A-level elemental stones. The two of them knew that he needed the water elemental stone, so when paying the toll, they would give it priority. Shu Luoxia's monster spawning speed was faster, and all 10 A-level resource points were fully spent. Together with the cost of opening a route back to the city, he also earned 120 A-level elemental stones. Dark night is approaching, and the worshippers are about to face the second challenge. Masters, please return to the altar in time to help the sacrificial spirits tide over the difficulties. It's time to go back and feed the spirits. There are 740 A-grade elemental stones, 200 of which are water elemental stones. It should bring a great improvement to Blackfish. Lu Chuan smiled and decisively teleported back to the Blackfish altar. So many A-grade elemental stones. Looking at the mountains of elemental stones, Blackfish pounced on them like hungry wolves. Blackfish eats 200 A-grade water element stones and gets 200,000 points. Blackfish eats 50 A-grade gold element stones and gets 10,000 points. An A-grade water elemental stone provides 1,000 points. An A-level elemental stone with different attributes will provide 200 points, which is 10 times that of B-level. Lu Chuan was very satisfied with the result. In addition to the 10 A-level elemental stones consumed by Xia Yubing, Tang Yu, and Shu Luoxia when they returned home, his A-level elemental stones increased by 28, reaching 768. When Blackfish ate up all the elemental stones, his total points reached 355,880. Such a huge improvement is 12 times that of yesterday, and this is before the soul sacrifice challenge has even started. Name: Fanzhongyu. Level: 28. HP: 355,880. Power: 400. Agility: 400. Spirit: 400. Physique: 400. Skills: Tongsheng, Devour, Powerful Tail Strike, River Breath. I'm at level 28, I've transformed from a blackfish into a river fish, and I've mastered 2 skills. Lu Chuan's eyes lit up. This is not the most eye-catching thing about Fanzhongyu, but the blood volume is. Fanzhongyu's blood volume is exactly the same as his points, a full 355,880 points. Even if Fan Zhongyu has no combat power at all, this health volume and the Tongsheng skill alone can play a very big role, giving Lu Chuan a very powerful recovery ability until Fan Zhongyu's blood volume is exhausted. Coupled with the elemental group recovery ability, he and Fan Zhongyu will be even more difficult to kill, and their life-saving ability will be fully maxed out. Purple Worm Altar. Am I the legendary chosen one? The nearest A-level resource point can be reached in just 1 hour, and it is the Thunder attribute resource point that best suits me. Xiao Fan smiled so hard that he couldn't even close his mouth from ear to ear. With such good luck, he must be the leader of this soul sacrifice battle. As for Lu Chuan, who was more than 18,000 points ahead of him, he didn't take it seriously at all. A useless profession that relies on bugs to temporarily lead itself. Once the bugs are repaired by Tiandao, it will not be long before it is overtaken by itself. With this in mind, he decisively opened the ranking list. First place, Lu Chuan. Points, 355,880. Second place, Shu Luoxia. Points, 160,000. Third place, Tang Yu. Points, 140,000. Fourth place, Xia Yubing. Points, 138,000. Fifth place, Xiao Fan. Points, 70,000. Sixth place, Yi Chen. Points, 68,000. Seventh place, Lu Ruyan. Points, 64,000. I actually ranked fifth. Xiao Fan couldn't believe his eyes. Lu Chuan got so many points through bugs, Tiandao should fix it urgently. But Lu Chuan's points increased even faster, 12 times more than yesterday. Moreover, Shu Luoxia's points were still 3,200 points yesterday, but today they have directly increased to 160,000 points, which is 50 times more than yesterday. Logically speaking, Shu Luoxia was slow at every step and had bad luck. She should have been suppressed by herself. Why did she suddenly overtake her and score more than twice as many points as herself? After Shu Luoxia became the god of war, it was okay to overtake him in points, but what the hell were Xia Yubing and Tang Yu? In his impression, there seemed to be no SSS-level professions without these two people. Why do these two SS-level professionals have 1 digit more points than themselves? Yellow Cat Altar. What's the situation in the rankings? It doesn't matter if Xiao Fan's ranking is still above me, why can Shu Luoxia be able to overtake in a corner and be in front of me? And Xia Yubing and Tang Yu don't even have SSS-level professions, how did they beat me in points? Yi Chen felt bored all over. In the process of collecting resources, he encountered a suitable metallic A-level resource point. I thought I was lucky enough to overtake Xiao Fan. As a result, Xiao Fan failed to overtake, and instead allowed Shu Luoxia, Xia Yubing and Tang Yu to rank in front of him, and they were ahead by 70,000 to 80,000 points. Each resource point can only get 50 elemental stones. If you want to get so many elemental stones, you have to grind so many resource points. It's impossible to get there. Is it possible that the top 4 people in the rankings have all become bandits? Otherwise, how could they get so many points? In order to win the first prize, he decided to change his strategy and compete for each other when he sees them later. Anyway, Soul Sacrifice Battle is a competitive dungeon. It should be reasonable to grab a robbery yourself and make the competition more intense. However, each resource point is very large, and you don't just encounter them just because you want to. You also need some luck. White Fox Altar. Lu Chuan's points are too abnormal. No matter how you calculate them, they shouldn't be this. Even if all the resource points of A level, B level, and C level are maxed out, it is impossible to have 355,880 points. And each resource point is far apart. Even if Lu Chuan has hundreds of legs like a centipede, it is impossible to brush all the resource points. Lu Ruyan was stunned. She looks extremely perfect, and her face, figure, and demeanor are all like the legendary vixen. Her profession is the SSS level Qingqiu Divine Envoy, with very strong assassination and mental control abilities. Because of this, she was slightly better than Yi Chen in yesterday's points ranking. Lu Chuan can get 355,880 points and firmly rank first. He must have found the bug of Soul Sacrifice Battle. And Shu Luoxia, Xia Yubing, and Tang Yu's ability to obtain such high points must be related to the bug of the Soul Sacrifice Battle, which was most likely leaked by Lu Chuan. Lu Ruyan's charming eyes narrowed slightly, and she couldn't help but have a plan in mind. Shu Luoxia, Sha Yubing, and Tang Yu all sound like girls' names. Lu Chuan told the three girls about the bug in the soul sacrifice battle, and he didn't tell any of the boys. He was probably a shy person. And her appearance and figure are already outstanding. Coupled with the professional blessing of Qingqiu Divine Envoy, it is easy to win over a man even without any emotional foundation. If it were anyone else, as the legitimate daughter of the Lu family in the imperial capital, she would not disdain to use this method. The only men who can be admired are Xiao Fan and Yi Chen, who are both SSS-level professionals. But after Lu Chuan became the god of war, he still looked extremely handsome. Even if he was AC-level river god, she didn't mind letting him take advantage of him, and even kissing him a few times didn't matter. As long as I can hug the heaven-destroying god of war, what does it matter even if my husband is useless? However, the battle of soul sacrifice is very large, and trying to meet Lu Chuan by chance is like looking for a needle in a haystack, and the probability is about as small as buying a lottery ticket. Moreover, the bug of soul sacrifice battle has been mastered by 4 people, and the probability of attracting the attention of heaven will inevitably increase again. Even if she is extremely lucky and actually meets Lu Chuan, it is very likely that the bug of soul sacrifice battle has been fixed by heaven. I have a headache. Why wasn't I the one who met Lu Chuan by chance? Lu Ruyan sighed, feeling that she was so unlucky. Red bird altar. My red bird has transformed into a firebird. Shu Luoxia held the firebird sacrificial spirit in her hands, and the more she looked at it, the more she liked it. If it weren't for Lu Chuan's help, it would have been impossible for her to overtake in the corner and overtake Xiao Fan by more than 90,000 points. As for Sha Yubing and Tang Yu's points, she was a little surprised. SSS-level professions are very rare, and there may not be one among tens of billions of people. Only SSS-level professionals at the God of War level have a high probability of giving birth to an SSS level. Therefore, with the exception of Lu Ruyan, all those with career ratings reaching SSS level are those after the God of War. In this session, there were only 4 SSS-level professionals, so she could naturally remember the names of the other 3. No matter how high their potential is, Sha Yubing and Tang Yu are only SS-level professionals. How can they surpass the 3 SSS-level professionals, Xiao Fan, Yi Chen, and Lu Ruyan? Is it possible that Sha Yubing, like Tang Yu, has also reached a cooperative relationship with brother Lu Chuan? Thinking of this, Shu Luoxia felt that nothing was strange. With the help of Undercurrent, both Sha Yubing and Tang Yu have very strong drawing abilities. Even if their strength is not as good as that of SSS-level professionals, they can still leave SSS-level professionals behind with their powerful map-running abilities. Moreover, the level of the spirit sacrifice can bring feedback to the master. After today, Sha Yubing and Tang Yu will gain level advantages, and they can deal with it calmly even if they encounter Xiao Fan and others. Fanzhongyu Altar. The first challenge of soul sacrifice is now open. Except for auxiliary skills, the master will not be able to intervene in the battle of soul sacrifice. It is detected that you have passed the 5th stage and you can make the following choices. 1. Repeat the 5th stage. 2. Enter the next stage. 2. Lu Chuan did not hesitate. Ouch! Loud wolf howls sounded, and 30 level 7 blood-eyed wolves came to attack, as if they had been hungry for several days. Use river breath. Lu Chuan gave an order to turn the fish into the river and spit out the river. With the level advantage of level 28, wherever the river swept across, the blood-eyed wolf's body instantly shattered, like a truck hitting an egg. Kill 30 level 7 blood-eyed wolves and get 3,200 points. In the 7th stage, 35 level 8 blood-eyed wolves came to attack. Fanzhongyu used a powerful tail strike, and the huge tail fell like a giant hammer, instantly smashing 10 blood-eyed wolves into pulp, and swung its tail 4 times in a row, and all the blood-eyed wolves were dead. Kill 35 level 8 blood-eyed wolves and get 6,400 points. In the 8th stage, there are 40 level 9 blood-eyed wolves. Every time Fan Zhongyu takes a shot, a large number of them will die, and Lu Chuan gained 12,800 points. In the 9th stage, there are 45 level 10 blood-eyed wolves. Fan Zhongyu responded easily, and Lu Chuan gained 25,600 points. In the 10th stage, there are 50 level 11 blood-eyed wolves. Fan Zhongyu is still invincible, and Lu Chuan gained 51,200 points. The 5 rounds of challenges have ended, your challenge points are 99,200, and the time to complete all challenges is 30 minutes and 32 seconds. When all the spirit sacrifice challenges are over, today's ranking rewards will be settled. 99,200 points, the reward for this challenge is good. Lu Chuan was very satisfied. This time in the soul sacrifice challenge, not only were there more points, but the completion speed was also faster. After getting 99,200 points, Fan Zhongyu's sacrifice spirit also upgraded from level 28 to level 29. Light Bird Altar. We've reached the 8th stage. Guangtiao, you are awesome. Tang Yu needed the face of Di Guangnao sacrificial spirit, wishing he could kiss him a few times. With the help of Lu Chuan and Xia Yubing, her points reached 140,000, and the yellow bird was directly promoted to level 21, transforming into a light bird. In addition, she is an auxiliary profession and can help when the spirit accepts the challenge, so her points are slightly higher than Xia Yubing. Today's soul sacrifice challenge has ended, and today's ranking rewards will be settled soon. First place, Lu Chuan. Points, 455,080. Challenge progress, stage 10. Today's clearance speed, 30 minutes and 23 seconds. Rating, SSS. Reward 50,000 points. Second place, Tang Yu. Points, 164,600. Challenge progress, stage 8. Today's clearance speed, 50 minutes and 14 seconds. Rating, SSS. Reward 40,000 points. Third place, Xia Yubing. Reward 35,000 points. Fourth place, Shu Luoxia. Reward 30,000 points. The next ranking rewards are similar to the last time, except that 0 is added. I actually became second. Tang Yu was extremely excited. She originally thought her ranking would be similar to that before the Soul Sacrifice Challenge, but she ended up surpassing Shu Luoxia, who became the God of War. After 4 Gods of War, she has surpassed 3. Is this what an SS-level professional should do? If it weren't for the help of the little commander and Yu Bing, I wouldn't be where I am today. She was extremely grateful. There were too few auxiliary professions that could be fixed by others. Therefore, those at the top of the standings are generally combat-type professions. The combat profession cannot affect the Soul Sacrifice Challenge, so the ranking of points is often the same as the ranking of the challenge, and there will be no fluctuation. Firebird Altar. It's a pity. It would be great if I could meet brother Lu Chuan earlier. Shu Luoxia sighed. She is not stupid, and she can naturally analyze the reason why she was surpassed by Tang Yu during the Spirit Sacrifice Challenge. She had bad luck on the first day. She only collected 2,000 points, and the Spirit Sacrifice could only be recycled in the first stage. To challenge higher stages, you must go up 1 stage at a time, and you can only challenge it 5 times a day. With more than 100,000 points and the ability to crush challenges at will, she naturally couldn't catch up with Tang Yu and Xia Yubing, who had beaten her in the Spirit Sacrifice Challenge on the first day. Purple Worm Altar. The 10th stage, completion time is 30 minutes and 23 seconds. Like last time, Lu Chuan directly raised the difficulty level of the Soul Sacrifice Challenge to the maximum, and the speed was even faster than last time. Xiao Fan's whole body was numb. Lu Chuan's soul sacrifice has become so powerful. No matter how rubbish Lu Chuan's profession is, under the level feedback, he can still be invincible in the soul sacrifice battle. How should he compete next? The first place in this Spirit Sacrifice Challenge will be directly awarded 50,000 points, bringing Lu Chuan's points to 405,880. Even if the bug of Soul Sacrifice Battle is fixed by heaven, with such a huge advantage, he can't catch up. Why is Lu Chuan so lucky? Obviously he is AC level river god, a recognized waste profession. During the college entrance examination, there was the heaven-destroying God of War gang, and there was the dungeon bug gang during the Battle of Soul Sacrifice. You obviously have no ability, but you lead by a cliff, crushing a peerless genius like me who should have won the first place. The more Xiao Fan thought about it, the angrier he became, and his defenses were a little broken. With all his luck and strength, he mistakenly thought he was the chosen one, and ended up finishing 5th. How could he accept this? He felt that if Shu Luoxia, Sha Yubing, and Tang Yu suddenly surpassed him. It must be Lu Chuan who leaked the bug of the soul sacrifice battle. Lu Chuan relied on the bug to take away his first place, but he didn't even leave him the second, third or fourth place. How could he endure this? The benefits of competitive dungeons are very great and can enhance a professional's potential. Such a big benefit would be fine if SSS level Shu Luoxia got it. Why can C-level professions like Lu Chuan and SS-level professions like Sha Yubing and Tang Yu also occupy the majority of this opportunity? Good opportunities can only be of greater value if they fall into the hands of the top geniuses. Lu Chuan relied on cheating in the college entrance examination and relied on bugs in the Battle of Soul Sacrifice. Even if he won the first place in Battle of Soul Sacrifice, what if he got the maximum benefit? A rubbish profession is a rubbish profession, and it cannot be supported no matter what. Such great benefits falling into the hands of rubbish professions are simply a waste of resources. Fanzhongyu Alter. With the ranking reward of 50,000 points, I now have 505,080 points. Lu Chuan was very satisfied with the result. If I want to get higher points, just having 3 customers is not enough. I have to make Undercurrent famous in the dungeon. After a brief moment of joy, Lu Chuan began to think. Each resource point covers a very large area. Even if there are only 10 resource points at each level, it is not easy for him to meet someone. Of course, this is also related to his efficiency in brushing resources. His monster spawning speed is very fast, and the time he stays at a resource point is very short, making it even more difficult to meet someone. Moreover, it is not easy for him to gain the trust of someone he is unfamiliar with. It requires a lot of time and words. After all, the resource acquisition at each resource point is limited, and traveling is very difficult. If you are cheated, you cannot call the police in the soul sacrifice battle, so everyone is very vigilant. How about I disguise Undercurrent as one of the settings of War for Soul Sacrifice? Those who don't know me, even if they can't trust me, they should still trust the setting of Soul Sacrifice battle, right? Lu Chuan suddenly thought, how to effectively convey the use of Undercurrent is also a problem. In the Soul Sacrifice battle, communication equipment cannot be used. By the way, I can try Riptide. Riptide can control the flow direction and speed of the River God realm at will, achieving meticulous control. If we take the River God realm as the base and the Nahi realm as the character, the blue and yellow colors, as long as they are well matched, can achieve the function of a black and white mobile phone and accurately convey information. It happened. Lu Chuan was very surprised. Such meticulous control required very high mental attributes. Especially when there are a large number of Riptide panels, an extremely large amount of mental energy will be consumed all the time. Fortunately, with the feedback from the spirit sacrifice, his level reached level 89, and his mental attributes are very high. Even if he makes 5,000 Riptide panels, it won't be a problem. The problem of information transmission has been solved. If you want to increase the popularity of Undercurrent, one resource point and one transmission shaft will never work. The fragrance of wine is also afraid of deep alleys, especially in the Battle of Soul Sacrifice where it is difficult to convey information. Lu Chuan thought of a solution again. Undercurrent consumes very low mana, and coupled with the level advantage, he plans to make all resource points see a teleportation well every 10,000 meters. Anyway, the farthest road has been opened. It just spreads nearby and won't take much time. The ranking rewards have been settled, the S-level resource points have been refreshed, and the level of the spirit sacrifice will bring feedback to the master. S-level resource points have been refreshed. Lu Chuan's Undercurrent spreads in all directions, like tree roots. Before the underground river connects to the S-level resource points, he plans to clear all the A-level resource points. When he collected 500 A-level elemental stones, Undercurrent had connected 4 S-level resource points, and he could go to spawn monsters. Level 13 Elemental Elf. Lu Chuan still punched one person at a time, and the efficiency of killing monsters was almost the same as before. His time was mainly wasted looking for monsters. Metallic A-level resource points. All the A-level resource points have been cleared. I don't know if Brother Lu Chuan has connected to the S-level resource points. Shu Luo Sha Lian came to the teleportation shaft at a leisurely pace, looking forward to it. Her appearance and temperament are both top-notch. If she puts on Hanfu, she will look like the legendary fairy Xiaoyu. Crash. The teleportation well spurted out blue and yellow liquids, and formed a panel in midair with a blue background and yellow characters. Brother Lu Chuan's undercurrent has become stronger. Shu Luoxia was slightly surprised. In the Riptide panel, it is recorded in detail which S-level resource points have been cleared, and the fire attribute resource points she needs most are marked. And in the panel, she can also see the trading function, and she can trade the elemental stones she wants through the teleportation shaft. She did not hesitate. Just like operating a mobile phone, she clicked a few times on the Riptide panel and threw 50 A-grade water element stones into the teleportation shaft. Immediately afterwards, 50 A-level fire element stones flew out of the teleportation shaft and fell steadily into her hands. The transaction was successful. I communicated remotely with Brother Lu Chuan through the panel. Shu Luoxia was filled with admiration. When she was dreaming, it was difficult for her to control the dream to this extent, let alone control the river water of different colors like a mobile phone with a black and white screen. Moreover, Torrent Panel is not only as simple as presenting a picture, it can also enable remote communication just like a mobile phone. What amazing computing power it takes to achieve such a feat, it makes her feel terrible just thinking about it. The person who accomplished such a feat was not a third-level or fourth-level spiritual professional, but an 18-year-old boy like her. Is an 18-year-old humanoid computer really the ability that a C-level river god can possess? Brother Lu Chuan's talent is really too strong. It would be great if his profession is the same as that of the god of war, an SSS-level wine sword immortal. Shu Luoxia was filled with emotions. It is indeed extremely difficult to achieve remote transmission of information in the battle of soul sacrifice, which can arouse the surprise of countless people. But this method is only limited to copies of information that are difficult to transmit. Once returned to reality, it will be useless. And a person's mind is limited. Lu Chuan can maintain a Riptide panel, which is very impressive. Even if Xia Yubing and Tang Yu have a cooperative relationship with Lu Chuan, they probably won't be able to enjoy the information transmission of the Riptide panel. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but smile sweetly. This feeling of being taken seriously was so good. Wind attribute A-level resource points. Lu Ruyan was killing monsters in it. On her way to the S-level resource point, she happened to pass by here, so she naturally wanted to get resources along the way. Crash. Suddenly, a spring gushed out of the ground and quickly expanded into a well. Another well has appeared. It's so strange. Lu Ruyan looked around and saw that there was a well every 10,000 meters, and these wells were still expanding at a very fast rate. Is it possible that there will be big changes in the soul sacrifice war? She planned to do some research. It would be bad if she missed any big opportunity. Drilling a well every 10,000 meters without being able to tell who is drilling the well is something she doesn't think a person of her age can do. It must be the same as the unlocking of A-level and S-level resource points, and it is one of the settings of soul sacrifice battle. When she dipped her fingers into the river water, the Riptide panel appeared immediately. Teleport function has been unlocked. Go to the C-level resource point and consume 10 C-level elemental stones. Go to the B-level resource point and consume 10 B-level elemental stones. Go to the A-level resource point and consume 10 A-level elemental stones. Go to the S-level resource point and consume 10 S-level elemental stones. Trading function. Masters only need to pay 10% of the handling fee to exchange their favorite elemental stones with other masters. As for establishing a teleportation point with his own altar, Lu Chuan was not in a hurry to put up a price. He will judge each one according to his strength. Strong people will collect more, and weak people will collect less. Anyway, 50 elemental stones are necessary. The difference lies in the quality. These wells actually allowed me to unlock new functions. Lu Ruyan was very surprised. Teleportation does cost travel, but the distance between each resource point is very far. If you use your traveling time to farm resources, you can definitely earn more. As for the 10% handling fee for the transaction function, it is completely acceptable. The matching A-level elemental stone can get 1000 points, while other A-level elemental stones can only get 200 points. Compared with 800 points, what is a mere 10% handling fee? It's not worth mentioning at all. With this in mind, she planned to try the trading function first. When she put 100 A-grade elemental stones into the teleportation well, 90 A-grade water elemental stones were quickly teleported over. It's done. If you feed 100 unsuitable A-level elemental stones to the sacrificial spirit, you can only get 20,000 points. And by feeding 90 water-attributed elemental stones to the spirit's sacrifice, I can get 90,000 points and earn 70,000. The benefits were so great that Lu Ruyan's breathing became a little faster. The teleportation shaft spreads very quickly. I have to establish a greater advantage before others discover the teleportation shaft. It's a pity that I went to the S-level resource point and got 10 S-level elemental stones. I haven't even been to an S-level resource point. Even if I have the strength, I can't teleport directly to the S-level resource point with the most rewards. With the idea of giving it a try, Lu Ruyan set her destination at an S-level resource point. If there is a bug in Soul Sacrifice Battle, she can make a lot of money by teleporting her directly to the S-level resource point. When she jumped into the teleportation shaft, she was quickly teleported to an S-level resource point. The elemental elves here are all level 13. I just gave it a try, but I didn't expect that the Soul Sacrifice Battle bug happened. Lu Ruyan smiled tenderly, feeling that she was so lucky. The Riptide panel was teleported with her like a flying pet and floated in front of her. You owe 10 S-level elemental stones. If you do not return them, you will not be able to use the teleportation shaft. This is not a bug, but a deliberate arrangement by Lu Chuan in order to speed up the efficiency of everyone's resource farming. As the legitimate daughter of the Lu family in the imperial capital, I will one day owe money. Lu Ruyan smiled and decisively attacked the elemental elves around her. As for debt, it is still impossible. If you miss more elemental stones because of 10 elemental stones, it is like picking up sesame seeds and losing watermelon. With her strength, coupled with the teleportation ability of the teleportation shaft, it is not a problem to clear all S-level resource points. Coupled with the trading function, she can also exchange the S-level elemental stones on hand for water elemental stones that are compatible with the spirit sacrifices. A similar scene occurs in every corner of the copy. Some unlucky people even cried with joy. Great, great, finally I don't have to waste time on the road. Li Feiyu was extremely happy. He was very unlucky. Even though he had to travel for a long time, he couldn't even find a resource point that matched the attributes of the spirit sacrifice. I originally thought that after losing to Xia Yubing in the college entrance examination, I had to win back in the soul sacrifice battle. As a result, Xia Yubing's points reached 4th place, with a total of 173,000 points. Even the God of War was left behind. And not only Xia Yubing, but also his best friend Tang Yu also left the Queen of War behind, which directly made him doubt his life. Are these two really SS-level students competing with him for the 2nd place in North China province in the college entrance examination? At the same time, Xiao Fan and Yi Chen also discovered the teleportation shaft, and they all spawned monsters in S-level resource points. With the help of Undercurrent, the luck component of Soul Sacrifice Battle has been reduced, and now it's a competition to see who is stronger. After Xiao Fan and Yi Chen became the gods of war, the top experts of the new generation of China naturally wanted to compete with each other in terms of strength, not luck. And Xia Yubing and Tang Yu, relying on the level feedback from the spirit sacrifice, are not any slower than the god of war. Light attribute S-level resource points. Shu Luoxia happened to meet Xiao Fan and said hello. Xiao Fan, what a coincidence. Shu Luoxia, you are here too. Xiao Fan smiled. Since they are both gods of war, everyone has a great background, so naturally they are good friends rather than enemies. Even though Lu Chuan made him and Yi Chen very unhappy because of cheating. But neither of them said anything humiliating in front of Lu Chuan, and even the yin and yang was very subtle. You have a panel too. Shu Luoxia looked at the Riptide panel that belonged to Xiao Fan and was a little surprised. You do too, what's so surprising? Xiao Fan curled his lips. This panel is a new function unlocked by Soul Sacrifice Battle. It can not only teleport, but also trade goods. It would be great if this function was unlocked earlier. For strong people like us, it is best to rely on strength. There is no need for luck at all. He suddenly felt that Shu Luoxia's head was a little unclear, so he briefly explained it. Also. 2. Shu Luoxia was calm on the surface, but there was a storm in her heart. Lu Chuan is already very powerful if he can make it Riptide Panel and communicate with her remotely. As a result, Torrent Panel not only did she have one, but Xiao Fan also had one. If Lu Chuan is killing monsters, and both he and Xiao Fan happen to be using the Riptide Panel, wouldn't it mean that Lu Chuan has to multitask? Can such amazing computing power really be achieved by people of the same age? Strange, why are your travel expenses discounted by 20%, and your commodity transactions are also discounted by 20%? Xiao Fan glanced at Shu Luoxia's panel and was very envious. If he also has a 20% discount advantage, the speed of accumulating elemental stones will definitely be faster. Therefore, he wanted to find out a way to discount the teleportation function. I did a hidden mission and got a 20% discount. Shu Luoxia did not tell the truth. Xiao Fan mistakenly thought that the Riptide Panel was one of the settings of the Soul Sacrifice battle and must have been operated by Lu Chuan. Lu Chuan helped her, so naturally she wouldn't expose Lu Chuan. Hidden mission. How to receive this hidden mission? Xiao Fan quickly asked. If Shu Luoxia refused to tell, he wouldn't mind paying some elemental stones. I don't know. It was released to me all of a sudden. Maybe I'm lucky. Shu Luoxia lied, just like telling the truth, without arousing Xiao Fan's suspicion. Good luck. You're really lucky. The area of War for Soul Sacrifice is so large that you can meet Lu Chuan and learn how to fix the bugs in War for Soul Sacrifice. Forget it if it's stuck with a bug. Tiandao will also release a hidden mission for you, allowing you to get a 20% discount and save a lot of elemental stones. Xiao Fan's whole body was numb. Just because of luck, he couldn't compete with Lu Chuan and Shu Luoxia. He really hoped that the Battle of Soul Sacrifice would have less luck and everything would be based on strength. Xiao Fan, did you meet anyone else on the way here? Are there panels floating around them? Shu Luoxia asked again. She vaguely guessed the reason why various resource points were scattered in teleportation shafts, but could such amazing computing power really be achieved by people of the same age? Even if it has such amazing computing power, comparable to a humanoid computer, its magic power still has to keep up. Even with the level reflected by the spirit sacrifice, Lu Chuan should not have accomplished such an amazing feat. I met 4 or 5 people on the road, and they all had panels floating behind them, just like us. Xiao Fan smiled and said, Shu Luoxia, you are so strange today. Teleportation shafts are scattered throughout various resource points, and there will be one every 10,000 meters. As long as you come into contact with the well water, you can unlock the teleportation and transaction functions. After such a long time, everyone has probably unlocked new features. He suddenly thought of something and suddenly realized, I understand, your teleportation function is not unlocked by using the teleportation well. That's why I'm so surprised to see that my advantage is being taken advantage of by multiple people. Shu Luoxia nodded and said, you were right, my teleportation function is also unlocked through hidden tasks. I was able to rush from 3,200 points to second place in one fell swoop and gain a lot of points, all thanks to the teleportation function. I see, I thought Lu Chuan told you about the bug of the Soul Sacrifice battle. Xiao Fan agreed with Shu Luoxia's half-truth and half-false statement. If he masters the teleportation function early, he can also wipe out all high-level resource points. After Xiao Fan teleported away, Shu Luoxia could no longer control her shocked expression. Every resource point has a teleportation shaft every 10,000 meters. Brother Lu Chuan must have done this for a purpose. It's very possible that everything is just as Xiao Fan said. Everyone has got a portable panel and can easily use the teleportation function of undercurrent. If 4,999 people use the panel at the same time, wouldn't it mean that Brother Lu Chuan has to devote only 5,000 to it? No, this example is too extreme. It is impossible for 4,999 people to use the panel all the time. With the teleportation shaft, time is no longer wasted on the road, and time is mainly spent on farming resources. But even so, Brother Lu Chuan at least has to devote himself to hundreds of people, and he has to meet the needs of hundreds of people at any time, and he has to maintain it for 7 or 8 hours. This computing power is really terrifying. As far as I know, River God is not a spiritual profession at all. How did Brother Lu Chuan do it? Shu Luoxia clicked her tongue, her scalp numb just thinking about it. Every riptide panel is extremely delicate, it would be difficult for her to make one. And Lu Chuan manufactured 4,999 at the same time, meeting the needs of 400 to 500 people at all times. It can already be called a humanoid server. Brother Lu Chuan is really too strong. His strategic skill undercurrent not only connects every resource point, but also opens a teleportation shaft every 10,000 meters. With such talent, if Lu Chuan's profession is SSS level wine sword immortal, he is very likely to succeed the god of war and become the new strongest man in China. While she lamented Lu Chuan's strength, she also felt pity for Lu Chuan's profession. However, everyone has mastered the teleportation function, and her only advantage is her own strength and 20% off. In order to stay in second place and not be overtaken by the two gods of war, Xiaofan and Yi Chen, she also had to race against time. Under the influence of the surging undercurrent, everyone devoted themselves wholeheartedly to killing monsters and was very busy. Before the teleportation function was popularized, they had to waste time on the road, which was boring, and they wanted to give Tiandao a slap in the face. But now, the time on the road has been shortened infinitely. After the teleportation, I feel as refreshed as if I had just taken a shower, and I feel more energetic when fighting monsters. And every time they use the teleportation function and every time they use the transaction function, Lu Chuan will receive a large amount of elemental stones, which can definitely be called huge profits. After swiping all the resource points, Lu Chuan returned to Fanzhongyu altar and concentrated on being a humanoid server, processing a large amount of information every moment. Fortunately, the homogeneity of this information is relatively serious, so he only needs to ensure that he does not make mistakes, and there will be no confusing things. But just not making mistakes is enough to stump countless people, even professionals in the spiritual field find it difficult to do it. As time passed, Lu Chuan's spirit became more and more tired, and his head even hurt. Fortunately, the recovery ability of elementalization is very strong. Even if the spirit is damaged under high load, it can be recovered quickly. In addition, he is at the Fanzhongyu altar, and there is always a large amount of elemental stones for Fanzhongyu to enjoy. The levels fed back to him by the soul sacrifice station were also getting higher and higher, making him gradually become more calm. Dark night is approaching and the decisive battle is about to begin. Masters, please return to the altar in time to improve the strength of the spirit sacrifice and prepare for the decisive battle. When the dungeon announcement sounded, Lu Chuan had harvested a total of 1,600 S level water element stones, 8,400 A level water element stones, 19,700 B level water element stones, and 56,000 C level water element stones. As the controller of commodity trading, he naturally exchanged the water element stones he needed first. As for everyone else, they can only wait patiently if they are out of stock. There are so many elemental stones piled together like a mountain of gold, so much so that the saliva of the fish in the river is about to flow into a river. There are too many, really too many. And they are all the most delicious water element stones. The fish in the river was so happy that he shed tears and plunged his head into the rocky mountain. He swallowed so hard that his jaw almost dislocated, but he still had no intention of stopping and wanted to push himself to death. Eat slowly, no one will compete with you. Lu Chuan patted Fan Zhongyu's head, somewhat dumbfounded. Master, don't worry, with swallowing evolution here, I can eat as much as I can, and I will never waste it, let alone strangle myself to death. When the soul sacrifice battle is over, I won't have such a big appetite. I have to take this opportunity to become stronger. Fan Zhongyu ate so fast that the corners of his mouth burst open and he didn't even care. Seeing that his will was so firm, Lu Chuan did not try to persuade him and silently used elementalization on him. The decisive battle of the soul sacrifice battle is about to begin. There are so many elemental stones that you will definitely not be able to eat slowly. Only by gobbling up the food and offering sacrifices to the spirits can we face the decisive battle with the strongest attitude. Eat 1,600 S level water element stones and get 16 million points. Eat 8,400 A grade water element stones and get 8,400,000 points. Eat 19,700 B level water element stones and get 1,970,000 points. Eat 56,000 sea-level water element stones and get 560,000 points. When all the elemental stones were eaten, Lu Chuan's points reached 27,435,080. The businessman is really making huge profits. He has cooperated with 4,999 people. My points are 54 times higher than yesterday. Lu Chuan was very satisfied with the result. In order to maintain 4,999 riptide panels and provide services to everyone, his mental power has been on the verge of exhaustion. Fortunately, all the efforts were worth it. He not only earned a lot of points, but also caused everyone's points to skyrocket, greatly enhancing the strength of the new generation of China. After Fan Zhongyu swallowed a large amount of elemental stones, he directly rose to level 60, and his life level was greatly improved. Chapter 51. The river fish raised its head and roared, and a divine light appeared on its body that penetrated the sky, just like the Milky Way was venting, causing thousands of miles around to tremble. Under the divine light, every inch of the river fish's flesh and blood is transforming and sublimating, and its size is getting bigger and bigger. Name: Kun. Level: 60. HP: 27,435,080. Power: 9,000. Agility: 9,000. Spirit: 9,000. Physique: 9,000. Skills: Simultaneous Life, Devouring, Powerful Tail Strike, River Breath, Ocean Impact, Water Strike 3000, Water Flow Armor. After Fan Zhongyu transformed into Kun, his four-dimensional attributes reached 9,000, which was 2,000 higher than Lu Chuan of the same level. And the four-dimensional attribute is not the most outstanding thing about Kun, but his blood volume is. Kun's blood volume is exactly the same as Lu Chuan's points, reaching 27,435,080. Even the level 60 King Kong King, a monster with a boss aura, only has 3 million HP, which is only 7 digits. And Kun's blood volume is in 8 figures, which is 24,435,080 more than the King Kong bear. A battle pet is fatter than a boss of the same level. What is the concept? Coupled with Kun's Tongsheng skill, when Lu Chuan is injured, the same amount of health can be consumed to quickly restore his health. If an ordinary person wants to kill Lu Chuan, he must first drain Kun's blood volume. What an amazing life-saving ability is this! Unless the opponent is 50 or 60 levels higher than Lu Chuan, it will take a lot of time to kill him. The decisive battle is about to begin, and the final reward of the soul sacrifice battle will definitely be richer than before. Lu Chuan is looking forward to the next decisive battle. Yellow Cat Altar. What a scam! The cost of connecting to the altar actually varies from person to person. It can only be brushed at A-level resource points, and you only need to pay 50 A-level elemental stones. And if I can spawn monsters at an S-level resource point, I have to pay 50 S-level elemental stones. Yi Chen felt a little unhappy after returning to the altar. If he had known that today was the decisive battle, he would not have spent 50 S-level elemental stones to open the teleportation point to the altar. With the trading function, all his elemental stones were replaced with the most suitable thunder attributes. 50 gold element stones are equivalent to 500,000 points, which is not a small amount. If he wasn't worried that after opening the SS level resource point, the teleportation function would cost him 50 SS level elemental stones, he wouldn't be able to part with it at all. Save this elemental stone and teleport it to the resource point closest to home. Wouldn't it be better to walk a few more steps? But there is no regret medicine in the world. No matter how much he regrets, there is no point. He can only blame himself for impulsive spending. No matter so much, let's feed the sacrificial spirits first. So many S-level gold elemental stones will inevitably transform the sacrificial spirit. Yi Chen smiled and took out 320 S-level gold element stones. The yellow cat seemed to have been hungry for 4 or 5 days and immediately pounced on it. Eat 320 S-level gold element stones and get 3,200,000 points. It's great. With more than 3 million points, not only did the yellow cat reach level 45, but it also transformed into a golden tiger. Yi Chen was so excited that he waved his fists. When he opened the rankings to see where he ranked, he was stunned. First place, Lu Chuan. Points, 27,435,080. Second place, Shu Luoxia. Points, 5,460,000. Third place, Tang Yu. Points, 4,800,000. Fourth place, Xia Yubing. Points, 4,600,000. Fifth place, Xiao Fan. Points, 4 million. Sixth place, Lu Ruyan. Points, 3,700,000. Seventh place, Yi Chen. Points, 3,300,000. After Lu Chuan cooperated with everyone, the luck component of the soul sacrifice battle was greatly reduced, so the ranking fluctuation was very small compared to yesterday. If the soul sacrifice battle ends, Tang Yu and Xia Yubing will definitely not be Xiao Fan and Yi Chen's opponents. But relying on the level advantage fed back by the sacrificial spirits, he can still stabilize his ranking and not be surpassed by the God of War. Why am I ranked 7th? Yi Chen was dumbfounded on the spot, but soon figured out the reason. If 50s level gold elemental stones connected to the altar were fed to the sacrificial spirit, he would be able to defeat Lu Ruyan with an advantage of 100,000. But he happened to spend impulsively, and before the decisive battle began, he became the lowest ranked SSS level profession. And it's not just the SSS level professions that rank above him, even the two SS levels, Xia Yubing and Tang Yu, are also ranked above him, and they won 2 rounds. Lu Chuan, you just gave the bug to Shu Luoxia. You actually told Xia Yubing and Tang Yu. Yi Chen felt very aggrieved. When he noticed Lu Chuan's points, he was dumbfounded on the spot. 27,435,080 points, 8 times mine. How did Lu Chuan get so many points? A bug. Lu Chuan can't be stuck until the soul sacrifice battle ends. And this is while Shu Luoxia, Tang Yu, and Xia Yubing are also using it together. Ice Fox Altar. After Lu Ruyan fed the elemental stone to the white fox as a sacrifice, she successfully raised it to level 46 and transformed into an ice fox. 27,435,080 points. How did Lu Chuan get so many points? Even if all the resource points are maxed out and turned into matching elemental stones through the trading function, it is impossible to have so many points. Lu Ruyan was stunned. After the teleportation function is unlocked, everyone's efficiency in obtaining resources has made a qualitative leap. No matter how fast the resources can be obtained, each resource point has an upper limit, and Lu Chuan broke this upper limit abruptly. For unexplainable things, she can only attribute it to bugs, but if bugs are used too much, they will be repaired by heaven. Lu Chuan started experiencing bugs on the first day he came to the Battle of Soul Sacrifice. This stuck until the end of Battle of Sacrifice of Souls. Could it be that the bug has not been fixed yet? Could it be that Lu Chuan is Tiandao's biological son, and Tiandao specially prepared this bug for Lu Chuan, so no matter how stuck Lu Chuan is, it will not be fixed? Outrageous, really outrageous. Razor Altar. Xiao Fan was originally in a good mood after his purple insect sacrificial spirit transformed into a thunder snake. But after opening the rankings, everyone was dumbfounded. 27,435,080 points. How the hell can a human get this? Even if you wipe out all the resource points, grab everyone you see, and obtain resources by any means, you still won't be able to get so many points. Xiao Fan knew very well that Lu Chuan had gained too much advantage in the first 2 rounds due to the bug. Even if the bug is fixed by heaven, relying on the level advantage, he can still be invincible in the soul sacrifice battle and remain in the first place. But he couldn't have imagined that Lu Chuan could maintain first place in this way. The 3 first places were all leading by a cliff, and the points awarded in each round were completely unreasonable. Boom! Suddenly the earth trembled, and all the altars moved and were arranged very neatly in 2 rows, thousands of meters apart, like guardrails by the river. 5,000 professionals and 5,000 sacrificial spirits looked at each other, and they all became nervous. What is going on? Do you want us to fight with the professionals and sacrificial spirits next to us? Everyone was very vigilant and no one acted rashly. The activity range of each sacrificial spirit is a kilometer in radius of the altar. The distance between the altars is only 800 meters, so the range of activities will overlap. However, due to the limitation of the scope of activities, even if the spirit sacrifice really started to fight, as long as they exit the area where the scope overlaps, the opponent will be unable to do anything. The decisive battle begins. The dungeon boss is about to arrive. The higher the damage caused, the more rewards you will get. After the broadcast ended, an elemental elf with a height of 10,000 meters and a square shape emerged from the ground. His body surface is attached to the power of vast elements, which are mutually reinforcing and interfering with each other, and are constantly evolving, corresponding to 10 different resource points. As soon as he appeared on the stage, countless people turned pale and did not even have the courage to look at him. This body is so big that even without using any skills, it can trample people to death just by stamping its feet. Is this what we are waiting to deal with? Li Feiyu was completely stunned. He looked up at the god of elemental elves and felt as small as an ant. The dungeon is not a game. If you are killed by the god of elemental spirits, you will really be gone. But when he used the detection technique, he reacted immediately. Name: God of Elemental Spirits, boss level. Grade: HP, unlimited. Power: 0. Agility: 0. Spirit: 0. Physique: 0. Skill: none. It turns out that this god of elemental elves is just a fake, and he's just here to deal damage to us. After Li Feiyu reacted, he immediately led his sacrificial spirits and rushed forward, dealing crazy output at the feet of the god of elemental spirits. You are so brave. Facing such a powerful dungeon boss, you dare to charge forward. The pressure of the god of elemental elves is so strong that many people are afraid and dare not step forward easily. When they timidly used the detection technique, they instantly understood Li Feiyu's behavior and quickly attacked the god of elemental elves. Suddenly, countless skills fell on the god of elemental elves, and countless damage values appeared. However, compared to the 10,000-meter high body of the god of elemental spirits, these skills and characteristics are insignificant. I understand, this final battle is similar to a tower defense game. The god of elemental elves will not attack us, but will only pass by all the altars. And we only need to attack the god of elemental elves wholeheartedly like a defense tower, and we can get a lot of rewards. Looking at the battle situation in the distance, Shuluoxia analyzed it carefully. With the lessons learned from the past, the people behind will naturally not waste time. As soon as the god of elemental spirits enters the range of activities of the spirit sacrifice, he will do his best to output. Some people and sacrificial spirits who have mastered long-range means, even if the god of elemental elves has stepped out of the scope of activity, they are still outputting wildly, and direct long-range means cannot stop them. When the damage reaches a certain standard, the god of elemental elves will explode S-level elemental stones, and they are all elemental stones that match the source of the damage. A suitable S-level elemental stone is equivalent to 10,000 points, which greatly improves the spirit sacrifice. In addition, the god of elemental spirits will not fight back, so he can output with confidence. Everyone is eager to use up all their energy. I have to tell Brother Lu Chuan this news in advance so that he can be more prepared. Shuluoxia's fingers moved quickly on the riptide panel, and the information was quickly passed to Lu Chuan. Tower defense game. It's quite interesting. Lu Chuan laughed with interest. He was at the end, and without Shuluoxia's tip-off, if he wanted to know the situation of the god of elemental spirits, he would have to at least come into sight. Considering that the higher the damage caused, the greater the reward, he planned to use the Nehi realm to pave the way for the god of elemental elves. Nehi domain limit breaking. The river god domain can be freely transformed into the Nehi domain. When enemies in the Nehi domain are harmed, they can receive an additional 50% soul damage. As long as that Nehi domain is paved, it means everyone is helping him deal damage. With the strength of 5,000 people, the reward he will receive must be very generous. The higher the damage caused by everyone, the higher the additional damage of Nehi domain will be. I want everyone to deal higher damage and get more benefits. He plans to use the river god realm to give everyone a 160% increase in all attributes. Crash. The mighty river started from Lu Chuan and spread rapidly to various altars. As for the path that the god of elemental elves takes, it is covered by the Nehi domain. What is this? Lu Ruyan was very vigilant and subconsciously avoided the river god realm. Her altar is right next to Lu Chuan, and she watched the water flow out of Lu Chuan with her own eyes. However, the river god realm has expanded to a large extent and extremely rapidly. The range of her activities for worshipping spirits was directly submerged by the river god realm. Wait a minute. All my attributes have increased by 160%. All attributes of the ice fox sacrifice spirit have also been increased by 160%. Lu Chuan, as AC level river god, actually masters the percentage gain skill. Lu Ruyan was extremely shocked. Relying on the level feedback of the spirit sacrifice, she killed all high-level monsters, and the experience was completely exclusive, so the actual level reached 10. Coupled with the level feedback of Ice Fox Sacrifice Spirit 46, her temporary level reached level 56. As a level 56 profession, even if there is no qualitative change from the second rank, there is only the quantitative change from the accumulation of levels. With the 160% gain of River God Domain, it is still an extremely huge improvement, which will allow her to feel more benefits in the next decisive battle. Why does Lu Chuan use auxiliary skills on me? Does he like me? It's a pity. If only I could have met Lu Chuan earlier, I would have been able to master the bug of the soul sacrifice battle. Lu Ruyan sighed, feeling it was a pity. As the legitimate daughter of the Lu family in the imperial capital, her background, appearance, figure, and potential are all top-notch, and she has countless suitors. Therefore, she is very confident in attracting men. Due to too many choices, her vision has become extremely picky, and she feels that only the god of war is qualified to marry her. And Lu Chuan's father is China's strongest Zontian war god. As long as she can embrace the Zontian war god's lap, she doesn't mind marrying Lu Chuan even if he is a loser. It's just that compared to Xiaofan and Yi Chen, Lu Chuan's priority as AC level river god is lower. And now, Lu Chuan's river god domain gave her a big surprise. A river god with its own river perfectly solved the shortcomings of the river god's many restrictions. Coupled with the powerful auxiliary ability of river god domain, Lu Chuan's river god profession is definitely not sea level, it is also SSS level. The most important thing is that if Lu Chuan took the initiative to be courteous to her without any interaction, he must have taken a fancy to himself. As long as the two of you are in love, the relationship will develop very quickly, and it won't take long for you to become the daughter-in-law of the god of war. Thinking of this, Lu Ruyan licked her lips and looked Lu Chuan up and down. She found that Lu Chuan not only had a great background, but was also much more handsome than Xiaofan and Yi Chen, which suited her very well. Crash. The river god realm continued to spread to the outside world. Lu Ruyan was stunned on the spot, wanting to see where the river god realm would flow to. 1 altar, 2 altars, 3 altars, 4 altars. The spread of the river god's domain did not stop, it just spread all the way without stopping for any one person. Even the opposite bank, which is thousands of meters apart, is also the target of the spread of the river god's domain. What's going on? All my attributes are inexplicably increased by 160%. This buff is called River God's Domain. Could it be that it was used by the River God? River God is just a sea-level profession, how can he master such powerful skills? But the name of the buff cannot be fake. If the user of the skill is not the River God, why is this skill called this name? We have only one River God in this generation. Could it be that this is the little commander's trick? Everyone was shocked wherever the river god's domain passed. What exactly does Lu Chuan want to do? Could it be that he wants everyone to have their attributes increased by 160%? Lu Ruyan was confused. It's great that such a powerful buffing skill can be effective on her and the Ice Fox Sacrifice Spirit. Because of this, she mistakenly thought that Lu Chuan wanted to pursue her. But wherever she looked, everyone was favored by Lu Chuan, and all attributes were increased by 160%. Comparing the before and after, she found that her layout was too small. What Lu Chuan wants is not a beauty at all. But let all the geniuses in China get greater benefits from the soul sacrifice battle. As for how far the river god's realm can flow, she can't yet judge. Each sacrifice is 800 meters apart. Even if it is divided into 2 rows and there are only 2,500 altars in one row, the distance is still about 2 million meters. With her eyes, she can't see such a far place. But even as far as the eye can see, there are at least 300 altars enjoying the beneficial effects of River God Realm. Provide at least 160% all attribute gains to 300 professionals and 300 sacrificial spirits. What a huge mana consumption it will be. Just thinking about her made his scalp numb, but Lu Chuan remained calm and breathless, looking at ease. If she hadn't seen Lu Chuan using the river god realm with her own eyes, and the name hints of the buff effects, she wouldn't have been able to connect the two. Jinhu, let's go. Yi Chen clenched his fists, and the energy that was solidified rushed away like a bull. Even if the boss is still 500 meters away from the activity range of the Golden Tiger altar, it can still cause a lot of damage. So strong, worthy of being an SSS-level ancient boxer after the god of war. As a melee profession, ancient boxer can actually injure enemies 500 meters away. Everyone around was shocked. Suddenly, they felt their feet light up. When he lowered his head and saw that it was water, he didn't care anymore. Wait, what kind of water is this? Why did it increase all my attributes by 160% after submerging my feet? After everyone reacted, they were shocked again, and all their attention shifted to the river god's domain. After all, no matter how strong Yi Chen is, it has nothing to do with them. The amplification effect of the river god's domain allows him to deal more damage and get more benefits. Of course, everyone can tell which one is light and which one is serious. All attributes increased by 160%. Is it true? Yi Chen frowned. He turned around and saw that the altars behind him were all covered by the river god's domain. If the 160% increase is true, wouldn't everyone in the back be able to enjoy the 160% increase in all attributes? Such a strong group gain cannot be achieved by one person. But Soul Sacrifice Battle is a competitive dungeon. It is impossible to specifically take care of the people in the back. It doesn't care about the people in the front. Perfection is contrary to common sense. Yi Chen took the initiative to enter the river god's realm with doubts, and soon felt the pleasure of having all attributes increased by 160%. It's great. With this gain effect, I will definitely be able to achieve higher output. After Yi Chen praised him, he was quickly stunned. Because this buff is called River God Domain, and Lu Chuan is the only river god among 5,000 people. But AC level river god can bring a 160% gain to one person, which is amazing enough. How can it bring a 160% gain to a group of people? River god realm. Is it possible that this is Lu Chuan's skill? Yi Chen was surprised and found that the previous river gods did not have such skills at all. Could it be that Lu Chuan's river god is a top SSS level auxiliary profession, completely different from the previous river god? But no matter how strong an auxiliary profession is, it is impossible to achieve a cliff-like lead in the college entrance examination and the battle of soul sacrifice. No matter how strong the auxiliary profession is, it must have someone to cooperate with. As long as there is someone to cooperate with, it is difficult to have a cliff-like lead. Lu Chuan, you obviously have the strength, but you still cheat. It's really despising you. Yi Chen couldn't laugh or cry. He felt that Lu Chuan had such strong skills that even if he didn't cheat, he could definitely become the top 5,000 in the college entrance examination and be qualified to enter the battle of soul sacrifice. What's going on? Is the soul sacrifice battle fair anymore? Why can the people behind get 160% of all attribute gains? Li Feiyu couldn't hold himself any longer. Originally, he was very happy to get 42S class Thunder Element stones. But people who are not as powerful as him have received more benefits than him from the benefits of the river god realm. How can he accept it? If he also gets a 160% increase in all attributes, the 42S level Thunder Element stones will become more than 100. Crash. Immediately afterwards, the Nehi domain appeared, paving all the paths that the god of elemental spirits wanted to take. Has the god of elemental elves entered the second stage? Why is there blood yellow river water emerging from under my feet? This river is so weird, there are insects, snakes and ghosts in it. Everyone be careful, don't touch this blood yellow river water. Everyone is very wary of unknown things, for fear of accidents. When they attacked the god of elemental elves again, the frequency of damage values doubled. The ghosts and insect snakes in the Nai River field were very busy, causing a lot of soul damage, and the damage value was exactly 50% of everyone else. I was shocked. It turns out that the blood yellow river water is here to help us. This blood yellow river water is so powerful, it directly increased our damage by 50%. Everyone was excited and even more motivated. It's so unfair. The people in front were not familiar with the rules. When the boss appeared, they didn't rush to take action. They were originally at a disadvantage. It's okay for people behind me to learn from past mistakes, and they received such amazing help. Seeing this scene, Li Feiyu became even more unbalanced. Even if the attributes of the people behind are increased by 160%, there is also a 50% damage bonus. Is this just a joke? There is no balance at all. If he can also enjoy the help of the River God realm and the Nehi realm, it will not be a problem to get 150s level Thunder Element stones. It's too far away to be hit. Yi Chen watched the boss walk out of his attack range, feeling a little unsatisfied. The golden tiger on the side was still grinning, wishing he could gnaw a few more elemental stones from the boss. With the full efforts of one person and one beast, they harvested more than 1,500s level gold element stones. You've run far away, Huzi, hurry up and eat it. Yi Chen rubbed Jinhu's head. After Golden Tiger ate the S-level gold elemental stone, he directly rose to level 60 and transformed into a dark gold devil tiger, making everyone around him envious. However, Yi Chen was not proud of this. He knew very well that the fact that he could obtain so many S-level golden element stones had a lot to do with Lu Chuan's river god domain. Otherwise, he could only obtain more than 500 S-level elemental stones by himself, and the disparity was huge. Whether it was out of Lu Chuan's favor or out of awe of the strong, his attitude towards Lu Chuan had undergone a 180-degree change. He was thinking about how to repay Lu Chuan. You must know that after Lu Chuan becomes the god of war, and as the only son of the strongest god of war in China, what he has, the other party will definitely have, or even more. For such a person who lacks nothing, all he can repay are favors. Something's wrong. The extra damage from this blood yellow river doesn't seem to be counted on me. Yi Chen touched his chin. Before the river god's domain spread, he had punched the boss, so he knew how much damage he could do and how much benefit he could get. If the additional damage from the Nai River field can also provide him with rewards, the elemental stones he harvests will also increase by 50%. However, he was very satisfied with getting such huge benefits and did not get too entangled in this matter. Light Bird Altar. Yu Bing, I'm so nervous. The god of elemental elves is about to enter the attack range. Tang Yu was trembling with excitement. She and Sha Yubing were a match made in heaven. They were neighbors during the decisive battle, and they did the entire soul sacrifice battle together. Unfortunately, in the decisive battle, you can only get rewards by causing damage to the boss, which is beginning to be unfriendly to auxiliary professions. However, Sha Yubing had helped her so much that even if the opponent's ranking would surpass hers after assisting her, she would not hesitate at all. Yu, this blood yellow river water is exactly the same as the little commander's second turn vision. It's very likely that it's the same skill as the river god domain, the little commander's skill. As Lu Chuan's classmate, Sha Yubing must know more information than others. This blood yellow river is really powerful. If the boss is in it, he will take 50% extra damage. And this extra damage is dealt by the blood yellow river. It's all soul damage, which is very different from ordinary auxiliary skills. It is very possible that the little commander's harvest in the decisive battle will be 50% of all of us. Tang Yu was also shocked. He and Sha Yubing had never teamed up with Lu Chuan. They only knew that the other party was very strong, but they knew nothing about the specific skills. Now Lu Chuan exposed two skills in succession, each of which shocked them beyond measure. River God's Domain is a group gain skill that increases all attributes of a person by 160%. Nehi Domain is used as a damage increasing skill, causing the enemy to receive an additional 50% soul damage. Combining these two together, the god of elemental elves must bear massive amounts of damage all the time. And a large part of this massive damage was taken away by Lu Chuan. Lu Chuan helped everyone, and everyone was also working for Lu Chuan. After the boss entered the attack range, both Sha Yubing and Tang Yu got busy, not wanting to waste a single minute. Although the two of them were SS-level professions, they relied on the level advantage of the feedback from the sacrificial spirits to raise their sacrificial spirits to level 60 or above, and completed the transformation again. Kun Altar. With everyone's joint efforts, a large amount of S-level elemental stones emerged from Lu Chuan's altar all the time, and all of them were water attributed. Too much, really too much. Kun was so happy that he kept mouthing from beginning to end. If it were any other sacrificial spirit faced with so many elemental stones, it would be impossible to eat them all. After he evolved into Kun, his body shape was similar to that of a building ship. The mouth, which is bigger than the door, directly blocks the place where the S-class elemental stone emerges, just like an internet celebrity who challenges a dragon to absorb water. Even though his mouth is very big, there are still a lot of elemental stones leaking out from his mouth. There is no way, the elemental stones emerge too fast. Master, look at him. The ice fox sacrificial spirit was so anxious that he spoke. One hand pointed at the Kun sacrificial spirit who was feasting on food, and the other hand pulled Lu Rion's black silk stockings. Although after her transformation, the most contracted elemental stone changed from water to ice. But in the face of so many water element stones, even if they are incompatible, no one can control them. Lu Chuan was so courageous that he posted a bug in front of me, but I didn't see what he was doing. These elemental stones all emerged from the altar by themselves. Lu Rion's head was buzzing and she wanted to analyze how this bug got stuck, but she couldn't figure it out no matter what. In order to get greater benefits, she decided to take the initiative, Brother Lu Chuan. Her charming voice was so sweet that if she didn't have enough concentration, her IQ might be reduced by 60%, and she would have to please her even if she paid a huge price. What's up? Lu Chuan frowned. He felt a little baffled by being called so affectionately by an unfamiliar girl. As for beauties, he has seen too many beauties since he became the god of war, and his concentration is not comparable to that of ordinary people. Even if Lu Rion was so beautiful that it would not make him lose any of his sanity. And as the young commander of the Northern Territory, as long as he told the Lu family in the imperial capital, the other party would most likely happily send Lu Rion over in order to embrace the god of war. Does he need to pay a price for pursuing the woman he likes? Not at all. Brother Lu Chuan, can you teach me how to fix the bug? The soul sacrifice battle is about to end. With your current advantage, being number one is definitely not a problem. You might as well let me take advantage of this and soar into the sky. When that soul sacrifice war is over, I will definitely do my best to repay you. Seeing that Lu Chuan was not moved by beauty, Lu Rion's tone changed from coquettish to sincere. As the legitimate daughter of the Lu family in the imperial capital, she disdains doing this to others. But as Lu Chuan is a descendant of the god of war, she doesn't mind using this method. Moreover, this will not only seduce Lu Chuan, but also increase the success rate of obtaining bugs. It's a pity that Lu Chuan doesn't follow this trick, so she can only show her truest side. Bug, I've never had a bug. Lu Chuan told the truth. These elemental stones were all obtained by his own skills, and they have nothing to do with bug. This, Lu Rion was stunned and didn't know how to speak. No bug, how did you get so many elemental stones when even the boss saw them? Can anyone lie so confidently these days? She wanted to get the bug out of Lu Chuan's mouth, but she didn't know what he wanted. He had just used the honey trap, and Lu Chuan did not accept this trick at all. But inducements are impossible to work. After Lu Chuan becomes the god of war, it is impossible to lack training resources. Facing such an opponent with no weaknesses at all, she didn't know how to start. No, Shu Luoxia, Sha Yubing and Tang Yu have abnormal points, and they are all women. If Lu Chuan hadn't leaked the bug, these three people wouldn't have been able to establish such a big advantage. Lu Chuan has 3 girls in a row. He shouldn't have this attitude towards girls. Is it possible that he doesn't like my style? Lu Rion felt that she had made a mistake. As for using the charm skill on Lu Chuan, she would never dare to do it. Since the other party is the god of war, she can't afford to offend him. On the other side of the Kun altar is the Thunder Snake altar. Xiao Fan was 10,000 meters away and observed Lu Chuan for a long time. He admired the 160% all-attribute bonus of River God Realm very much, and instantly looked at Lu Chuan with admiration. But Lu Chuan's openly buggy behavior still made him very disdainful. Lu Chuan, you really relied on bugs to establish your advantage. I must have caught you now. It's okay for you to hide this kind of thing, but you did it in front of me and didn't tell me. It's really unreasonable. Seeing the massive amounts of elemental stones emerging from the Kun altar all the time, Xiaofan was filled with envy. If we can get a share of the pie, the Thunder Snake Spirit sacrifice will definitely see such a huge improvement. Boom! The ground began to tremble, and the tremors became more and more severe. Looking around, the 10,000-meter tall elemental spirit god is slowly approaching, suffering a lot of damage all the time. It's too far away, and it's not within the attack range. Xiaofan was not impatient, but worked hard to adjust his condition to its peak. He didn't want to make any mistakes when dealing damage. Suddenly, a loud roar of dragons resounded throughout the world. A water dragon jumped out of the river god's domain, hit the boss like a missile, and exploded with a bang. This is Lu Chuan's water dragon bullet. Under the level feedback of Kun's sacrifice spirit, his temporary level is very high, and he can naturally hit output from 10,000 meters away. Thousands of meters away, Lu Chuan started to take action. Is this still a human being? Lu Ruyan's altar is right next to Lu Chuan, and he can best judge how outrageous the attack range of Water Dragon Bullet is. Moreover, the Water Dragon Bullet is also very powerful, coupled with Lu Chuan's own domain skills. An auxiliary profession seems to be as good as a combat profession in terms of output, which is really outrageous. Grass, with a level advantage, can you really do whatever you want? However, this skill is of a very high level. Even if there is no level advantage, it can still cause considerable damage. Xiaofan was also shocked. With his own domain and such powerful output skills, Lu Chuan has basically completely overcome the shortcomings of River God. Such a perfect profession, with top-notch output and auxiliary abilities, is it still a so-called C-level profession? If the final battle of the Battle of Soul Sacrifice is not a boss fight, but a fight between sacrificial spirits, I'm afraid he won't be able to withstand even one water dragon bullet. Don't eat it, hurry up and take it out. After Lu Chuan reminded him, he used water dragon bullet again. After Kun swallowed the elemental stone in his mouth, he decisively used river breath to produce a large amount of continuous output, which was extremely powerful. Lu Chuan is the cliff top number 1 in the Battle of Soul Sacrifice, and Kun is naturally the strongest sacrificial spirit in Battle of Soul Sacrifice. By the time the boss entered the attack range of Xiaofan and Lu Ruyan, Lu Chuan, who was at the end, had fired more than 40 water dragon bombs, while Kun's sacrifice spirit had been using river breath without any pause. It turns out that Lu Chuan didn't lie to me. These elemental stones were not created using bug cards, but were created using blood yellow rivers. Lu Ruyan suddenly realized. She was right next to Lu Chuan, so she naturally knew that the River God realm and the Nehi realm were both Lu Chuan's masterpieces. It's just that she still doesn't know anything about the role of the Nai River field, so she can only attribute the massive amount of elemental stones to bug. It turns out that Lu Chuan is not uninterested in me and doesn't want to tell me the bug. Thinking of this, she felt much better. No bug can be exploited for 3 days in a row, and it is very normal for it to be repaired by the law of heaven. This blood yellow river water has such a great effect. Xiaofan was shocked. The boss is in the Nehi realm, and when he is harmed, he will bear 50% of the soul damage. If the Nehi realm paved the way for the boss to advance, wouldn't it mean that 5,000 people would help Lu Chuan avoid damage? With 50% damage to everyone, plus 160% all attribute bonus from the River God domain, a massive amount of elemental stones can emerge from Lu Chuan's altar. Is it strange? It's not surprising at all. The emergence of massive elemental stones has lasted for several hours. Judging from the boss's forward speed, it is very likely that the entire battlefield is covered by Lu Chuan's Nehi domain and Hessian domain. What a shocking thing this is. A professional can be so far away, improve all attributes of thousands of people, and allow the boss to withstand 50% extra damage throughout the process. What can such a person do to compete? Even if his profession is an SSS-level Dragon Knight, he is not qualified. However, the Nehi domain and the River God domain were indeed strong, but he still felt that Lu Chuan's advantage was established through bugs. Because Lu Chuan's points were inconsistent with common sense from beginning to end, and so were his college entrance examination results. No matter how strong a person's career is, there will still be some shortcomings. Even though Lu Chuan, as the River God, is stronger than the previous River Gods, he can't have strong output ability, auxiliary ability, and map running ability. If you are strong in everything, how can you play other professions? Is it possible that the human race wants to create a career rating above the SSS level because of Lu Chuan? Lu Chuan, you are indeed amazing, Xiao Fan said sincerely. After becoming the god of war in an SSS level profession, he felt ashamed of himself for the first time. When the boss walked into the attack range of Xiao Fan and Lu Ruyan, the two of them had no time to be shocked and focused all their attention on dealing damage. At the same time, Lu Chuan used River God's whip, and hundreds of water whips were whipped towards the boss like a violent storm. Coupled with the 50% extra damage of Nehi domain, the damage value was extremely dense. Kun Jiling saw that the distance was enough, so he decisively used the most powerful Water Strike 3000. His huge tail is like a cliff coming across, and every flick of its tail can deal a lot of damage. So strong. After there is no distance limit, the output of Lu Chuan and Kun Jiling is even higher. Lu Ruyan glanced sideways again and again. Even when she was racing against time, she couldn't help but glance at Lu Chuan behind her. There was no way. Lu Chuan and Kun's spirit sacrifice was too great. If this person or beast were accidentally hit, she would probably be killed on the spot. For her own safety, she had to pay attention. The dungeon boss has completed all its journeys, and the decisive battle is over. It ended so quickly. Xiao Fan still had some unfinished thoughts. He and the Thunder Snake sacrificial spirit harvested more than 1,600 S-level Thunder Element stones after putting all their strength into output. The Thunder Snake sacrifice spirit successfully reached level 60 and transformed into a Thunder Dragon. If it weren't for the 160% increase in all attributes of River God Realm, I wouldn't have been able to achieve such a big gain. Lu Ruyan was very grateful to Lu Chuan, and her favorability kept rising. Her gains were similar to Xiao Fan's. The Ice Fox sacrifice spirit successfully rose to level 60 and transformed into an Ice Soul Demon Fox. Another great harvest. Kun was so excited that he used his big mouth to block the place where the elemental stone emerged, and ate it happily. Be careful, don't choke. Lu Chuan patted Kunpeng's head. Relying on the level advantage and Nehi domain, when the decisive battle ended, he harvested 320,000 S-level water element stones, 200 times more than Xiao Fan. So many elemental stones spewed out. Even if Kun's sacrificial spirit's mouth was very big, he couldn't swallow them at all. Just the elemental stones leaking out of the mouth were piled up like a mountain. Without the exclusive skill, swallowing evolution, of soul sacrifice battle, Kun's sacrifice's current devouring speed would definitely burst his belly. Because of this, cultivating sacrificial spirits in the soul sacrifice battle is thousands of times easier than in the outside world, especially the improvement in potential. There are so many. If the Kun sacrifice spirit swallows all the elemental stones, how many points will Lu Chuan get? Lu Ruyan witnessed such an outrageous thing with her own eyes and couldn't move her eyes away. First place. Lu Chuan. Points. 16,027,435,080. Second place. Shu Luoxia. Points. 35,460,000. Third place. Sha Yubing. Points. 3,140,000. Fourth place. Tang Yu. Points. 3,008,400. Fifth place. Xiao Fan. Points. 2,800,000. Sixth place. Lu Ruyan. Points. 2,750,000. Seventh place. Yi Chen. Points. 2,700,000. When the rankings were announced, everyone was dumbfounded. Am I dazzled? Lu Chuan's score is actually 16,027,435,080. This is already 11 digits, 16 billion points. The second-placed Shu Luoxia only has 30 million points, while Lu Chuan already has 16 billion. After being both the god of war, Lu Chuan's profession is still the sea-level river god. He is more than 450 times more qualified than the second-placed Shu Luoxia. What an amazing lead is this? Cheating. Lu Chuan must have cheated. The bug in soul sacrifice battle is so outrageous that it actually cost Lu Chuan tens of billions of points. How are we going to play with it? You can't say that. If it weren't for the 160% increase in all attributes of River God Realm, I wouldn't have been able to get such high points. You're right. Lu Chuan was kind to us. What happened to the card bug? Don't good people deserve good rewards? Normally, many people would have been scolding Lu Chuan when they saw he had such a high score. However, after receiving the favor from the river god realm, they all felt good about Lu Chuan and became more tolerant. A good person who helps himself get more points, what happens if he gets more points? Anyway, the first place in the soul sacrifice battle has nothing to do with them from beginning to end. No matter how high Lu Chuan's points are, it will not have any impact on them. The ones who should have a headache should be Shu Luoxia, Xiao Fan, Yi Chen, and Lu Rian, the 4 SSS level professionals who want to win the soul sacrifice battle. War of soul sacrifice does not favor one over the other. The 160% increase in all attributes is Lu Chuan's skill, not the setting of War of Soul Sacrifice at all. After hearing the news, Li Feiyu sighed. His luck was so bad. If he were closer to Lu Chuan, he would definitely be able to get a 160% increase in all attributes before the boss entered the attack range. An auxiliary profession can not only increase everyone's attributes by 160%, but can also defeat my Thunder Python punch with one punch. Lu Chuan is destined to be the most shining existence of this era. Thinking of this, he was full of admiration for Lu Chuan. Kun Alter. Kun Jilling was still overeating. Even though he was eating as fast as he was drinking water and his jaw was dislocated, he still couldn't eat. There are too many S-level water element stones, as many as 320,000. Even with swallowing evolution, it will take a lot of time. Such elemental stones are enough for me to eat for several days. The Ice Soul Demon Fox's eyes were burning. If it weren't for the limited range of movement and the fact that she couldn't beat him, she would definitely go up and grab him. Before he even finished eating the elemental stones, Lu Chuan achieved a cliff-like lead. Lu Rian was filled with emotion. In the eyes of others, Lu Chuan could only obtain so many elemental stones through bugs. And she saw Lu Chuan use Nehi Domain with her own eyes, so she naturally knew how unbelievable Lu Chuan was. When Kun Sacrificial Spirit finished eating all the S-level water element stones, his points reached 32,027,435,080, shocking everyone again. Burning Sky Bird Altar. How did brother Lu Chuan earn 30 billion points? Shu Luoxia's head was buzzing and she couldn't figure it out no matter what. She has 35,460,000 points and has already raised the sacrifice spirit to level 68. And Lu Chuan has 30 billion points. How many levels can the spirit sacrifice be promoted to? She simply can't imagine it. In addition, the blood volume of the sacrificial spirit is linked to the points. Even if Lu Chuan's sacrifice soul has no combat effectiveness at all, the skill Tongsheng alone can play an extremely huge role, making Lu Chuan the most difficult being to kill at the same level. A top auxiliary profession possesses the top life-saving means, which will give any opponent a headache. Holy Crane Altar. Tang Yu and Xia Yubing were both stunned. It's too exaggerated. After the rankings were announced, the little commander's points not only led by a cliff, but also continued to skyrocket. They know that Nehi Domain is Lu Chuan's masterpiece, and they also know that with the strength of 5,000 people, Lu Chuan's harvest will be extremely amazing. But when Lu Chuan's points appeared on the rankings, it was still beyond their expectations. 30 billion points. This is a number that they can't even imagine, but Lu Chuan did it with his ability. If it weren't for Lu Chuan's help, they wouldn't be able to compete with the SSS level professions and occupy the 3rd and 4th places. Everything Lu Chuan did in the Battle of Soul Sacrifice is enough to be called a legend. After devouring all 320,000 S-level water element stones, the aura of Kun's sacrificial spirits increased steadily, like riding a rocket. Name: Kunpeng. Level: 100. HP: 32,027,435,080. Power: 100,000. Agility: 100,000. Spirit: 100,000. Physique: 100,000. Skills: Tongsheng, Devouring, Xiaoyaoyu, Beiming Protective Seal, Beiming Sky Covering Art, Powerful Tail Strike, River Breath, Vast Sea Impact, Water Strike 3000, Water Armor. After the Kun sacrificial spirit transformed into Kunpeng, a mighty vision came into being, and the water of Beiming spread quickly like a strong wind, covering the entire dungeon. The earth-shattering pressure was like the master of all beasts, causing all the sacrificial spirits and elemental elves present to worship in the direction of Kunpeng's sacrificial spirit. What happened? Is it possible that after the decisive battle, there will be a next stage in the soul sacrifice battle? What a terrifying pressure. I didn't even see a shadow, so my legs felt weak. This kind of existence is more terrifying than the god of elemental elves. Everyone was stunned, especially those who were far away and could not see Kunpeng's sacrifice. What a terrifying vision. Could it be that Brother Lu Chuan's sacrificial spirit has undergone an astonishing transformation? Shu Luoxia was shocked. After her sacrificial spirit reached level 60, she transformed into the burning sky bird. A powerful phenomenon also emerged at the right moment, surprising countless people. But the transformation phenomenon of the burning sky bird is nothing compared to the transformation phenomenon of Kunpeng. And in the War of Soul Sacrifice, only Lu Chuan's soul sacrifice can be transformed like this. Plop. Even though burning sky bird is level 68, it is still unable to resist the pressure of Kunpeng's sacrificial spirit. Even if it cannot even be seen, it still worships in the direction of Kunpeng's sacrificial spirit like other sacrificial spirits. Burning sky bird, why are you? Shu Luoxia wanted to step forward to help, but found that burning sky Q's legs were as weak as paralysis. Master, you don't have to worry about me. Faced with such a noble bloodline, it is appropriate to worship for a while. Burning sky bird also resisted, but in the face of such terrifying pressure and such noble blood, he still chose to bow his head. Because the bows of all the sacrificial spirits present are also part of the transformation of the Kunpeng sacrificial spirit. If you dare to disobey and do not worship this king, you will face an indescribable and unknown horror. Just like the rules of heaven, there is no need to make any sense. It's so scary. Who caused this vision? Seeing this scene, the people around were even more shocked. The levels of their sacrifices were all between 20 and 30. Faced with such terrifying pressure, it was enough to kneel down in unison. And Shu Luoxia's burning sky bird sacrifice spirit is a level 68 existence, and there is still a huge gap between it and the owner of the sky shading phenomenon. Looking at everyone, I am afraid that only Lu Chuan's sacrifice to the spirit can do it. Wait, this sky-covering phenomenon is of the water element. Could it be that such a big movement was really caused by Lu Chuan? The decisive battle is over, and the final ranking rewards of this soul sacrifice battle will be settled soon. First place, Lu Chuan. Reward, points increased by 50%. Second place, Shu Luoxia. Reward, points increased by 40%. Third place, Sha Yubing. Reward, points increased by 35%. Kunpeng altar, percent points increase. Lu Chuan's eyes lit up. 30 billion points were increased by 50%, which equals 45 billion points, which directly raised Kunpeng's sacrifice spirit to level 110. The reward for the first place can only fall on him, which is 15 billion. Even Shu Luoxia, who ranked second, could only gain more than 17 million points after her points increased by 50%. If the ranking rewards were fixed rewards as before, he would not have been able to gain such a big gain. After all, when Tiandao designed the soul sacrifice battle, he never thought that someone could raise the points to such a high level. And it's not just Lu Chuan's points. With the 160% increase in all attributes of River God Realm and the blessing of Undercurrent, everyone's points in this soul sacrifice battle are very high. Lu Chuan's points were already ridiculously high, and the final ranking reward increased Lu Chuan's points by 50%. Lu Ruyan was shocked. Lu Chuan's spirit sacrifice reached level 100. After the points were increased by 50%, it was directly upgraded to level 110. You must know that the higher the level, the more experience is required and the more attribute points are added. A level 60 monster going up to level 10, and a level 100 monster going up to level 10 are completely different concepts. Without the help of Soul Sacrifice Battle, if she wanted to train the Ice Soul Fox to the level of Kunpeng, she might not be able to do it even if she spent a lot of time, manpower and material resources. With the help of level 110 Kunpeng, even a good-for-nothing loser can still be invincible at the same level. Xiao Fan was very envious. Lu Chuan's strength is already strong, and with the addition of the level 110 Kunpeng sacrifice spirit, even if he is the god of war, he is not qualified to compete with him. In just 3 days, Lu Chuan had grown so far away from him that he could only hold back. It's time to go home. After the portal returning to reality emerged, Lu Chuan left the dungeon without hesitation. Brother Lu Chuan, wait for me, Lu Ruyan quickly followed. Lu Chuan's father was originally the strongest man in China. After that soul sacrifice battle ended, Lu Chuan became the strongest man in this generation, surpassing countless talented people, and naturally became her favorite marriage partner. As for Xiao Fan and Yi Chen, the two gods of war, they still pale in comparison with Lu Chuan. Baiyun Valley. 300,000 soldiers are stationed here, quietly waiting for the end of the soul sacrifice war. Those who can participate in the soul sacrifice battle must be the top 5,000 college entrance examination students in China. In order to keep these geniuses safe, they did not dare to relax even if 3 days passed. I am afraid that these geniuses will be maliciously attacked by other countries when they leave the soul sacrifice war. A legion commander said sternly. Those who enter the competitive dungeon are all geniuses who have just turned 18 and have scored over 5,000 in the college entrance examination. These people are the future of our China. After getting the opportunity to compete in competitive dungeons, their potential will definitely increase again. We must keep our spirits up and never let them happen unexpectedly. Yes, 300,000 soldiers shouted loudly, their momentum even more amazing than before. The only restriction for this competitive copy is age, and it is definitely the most friendly to geniuses. It's a pity that a person with no potential got into it and a quota was wasted. One soldier sighed. As for the person with no potential in his mouth, there is no need to name him, everyone knows who he is. You can't say that. The god of war has made countless military exploits for China. Can't he be selfish at all? Of course I understand what you are talking about, but the emphasis on competitive copies lies in the word, competition. A sea-level river god, even if he enters the soul sacrifice battle, he will only be at the bottom. It is a pure waste of time and quota. Many soldiers started arguing because of Lu Chuan. At this moment, the final ranking of the soul sacrifice battle was revealed, and the name of the first place exceeded everyone's expectations. Am I dazzled? Lu Chuan is actually the first place. As far as I know, Lu Chuan's profession is river god, which is recognized as a useless profession. How can he defeat countless geniuses? Look at Lu Chuan's points. He has a total of 48 billion points. This data is too abnormal. Points are all about comparison, it doesn't matter whether they are more or less. Just like a perfect score of 10 points and a perfect score of 100 points, the value of points in different competitive dungeons is completely different. The key is how big the gap between the scores of others and Lu Chuan is. After talking about this, everyone quickly turned their attention to the second place. Second place Shu Luoxia has 49 million points, which is more than 900 times worse than Lu Chuan. Isn't it fake? How can it be that Lu Chuan's points are more than 900 times that of Shu Luoxia after they are both gods of war? Everyone was confused. This year, 4 gods of war will turn 18 and will be able to enter the competitive dungeon. After these 4 gods of war, except for Lu Chuan, all are SSS-level professionals, and they have perfectly inherited the professions of their parents. Logically speaking, Lu Chuan's profession is sea-level river god. Even if he has a set of legendary equipment, it will be difficult to rank above 3,000 in the soul sacrifice battle. But who would have thought that Lu Chuan not only won the first place, but also scored more than 900 times as many points as the second place? How did the little commander do it? Even if the little commander's profession is the same as that of the god of war, SSS level wine swordsman, there is no way he could be so far ahead of the other gods of war. The commander of the garrison was shocked. Those who can participate in the soul sacrifice battle are all the top 5,000 geniuses in this year's college entrance examination, and they are not just some idiots. And Lu Chuan can still stand out among the geniuses and become the unquestionable number 1. Hoo. The sound of tearing in the void sounded, and after the portal opened, a roc with wings spread like clouds flew out. The airflow between the flapping wings was like a storm, causing the giant trees in the entire Baiyun Valley to swing like willow branches. A level 110 monster flew out of the portal of soul sacrifice battle. Don't do anything, there's someone on Penganao's back, and it's Lu Chuan, the young commander of the Northern Territory. The soul sacrifice battle only lasted 3 days, and Lu Chuan got a level 110 battle pet. The bloodline level of this battle pet is extremely strong, and its potential in the future will definitely be amazing. Looking up at Kunpeng, all the soldiers were stunned. For most people, it would take them decades to reach level 110. If you don't have enough qualifications or are unlucky, you may not be able to reach level 110 even in your lifetime. And Lu Chuan trained a level 110 battle pet in just 3 days. What an amazing thing. As the first place, Lu Chuan has more than 900 times points led over the second place, so he deserves to gain a lot. But if you want to get such great benefits from competitive dungeons, it's not enough to rely on your own strength, you also need to have the right time, place and people. I think other people's gains will be equally great. Since Lu Chuan is the god of war, he will naturally be escorted by strong men when he comes to Baiyun Valley, so they don't need to worry about him. Therefore, after Kunpeng flew away, their eyes returned to the portal of the soul sacrifice battle again. Shu Luoxia got a level 75 fire battle pet, and Xiaofan got a level 68 thunder battle pet. The war pets after the god of war are all above level 60. It seems that the opportunity of this soul sacrifice battle is really great. Not only the god of war queen, but also everyone gained a lot from this soul sacrifice battle. Sha Yubing and Tang Yu are obviously SS level professions, but they are actually more capable than 3 SSS levels, and they cultivated battle pets above level 60 in the soul sacrifice battle. The soldiers were very envious. With such a good competitive copy, even if you have little strength, you can still gain a lot. Brother, how was your harvest this time? After Li Feiyu returned to reality, he was blocked by a soldier. This soldier's name is Li Feishui, and she is Li Feiyu's sister. Sister, stop talking. I have very bad luck, especially in the decisive battle. Li Feiyu sighed. Luck, what happened during the decisive battle? Li Feishui was very curious. The conversation between the two made the soldiers on the side prick up their ears. They didn't care at all whether Li Feiyu was lucky or not. They want to know how Lu Chuan won the first prize and how he got 48 billion points. Li Feiyu's personal experience in the soul sacrifice battle should be able to answer their questions. My location is too far away from Lu Chuan, Li Feiyu sighed again. Too far away from Lu Chuan. What does this mean? Li Feishui was stunned for a while. The bad luck may have something to do with the dungeon setting of Battle of Soul Sacrifice. How could it be related to the distance between a person? Could it be that robbing Lu Chuan could lead to big gains? But Lu Chuan has as many as 48 billion points. If he could grab it by himself, it would be impossible for him to remain in first place. For a moment, she couldn't understand. Lu Chuan has a skill called River God Domain, which can increase all attributes of people in the domain by 160%. With such a big improvement, we can naturally get more points in the final battle. And I was unlucky. By the time the River God's domain spread to my altar, the final boss would have already been out of the attack range. The more Li Feiyu thought about it, the more uncomfortable he became. River God Domain. Did the river gods in the past have this skill? Absolutely not. As a recognized waste profession, how can the river god have such powerful skills? Is it possible that Lu Chuan brought the Emperor's sword with him? The equipment effect of the Emperor's sword can increase all attributes by 100%. Even if Lu Chuan brings the Emperor's sword, River God Domain will have at least a 60% increase in all attributes. And the Emperor's sword, as the divine sword that governs the country, it is impossible for the god of war to let Lu Chuan be brought into the competitive dungeon. The effects of River God Realm shocked the soldiers. Lu Chuan has mastered such powerful auxiliary skills at the age of 18. When he grows up, he will surely be able to play a greater role. Li Feishui asked again, how big is Lu Chuan's River God Domain? I don't know, I don't even know where Lu Chuan is. Anyway, everywhere I can see is covered by the River God Realm, and everyone has received a 160% increase in all attributes. Li Feiyu said truthfully. The soldiers on the side were even more shocked. The buff effect of River God Domain is already strong, and coupled with such an exaggerated range, if it appears on the battlefield, it will definitely have the effect of turning the tide of the battle. I thought that everyone would gain a lot, and it was the welfare of the soul sacrifice battle. But who would have thought that everyone's harvest has a lot to do with Lu Chuan? Western Military Region. The Grand Commandery Mansion of the Western Territory. Yi Xiaoyao, the savage god of war, smiled and asked, "Son, you are back. How was your harvest from this competitive copy?" "Not much, just a level 65 battle pet." Yi Chen smiled and summoned the dark gold demon tiger. That muscular tiger body is like being cast from gold, containing amazing magical properties. In just 3 days, you have gained a level 65 battle pet, and the bloodline level is very high. It seems that you must be the leader of this competitive copy. Yi Xiaoyao was very pleased. So what if Yi Chen didn't become first or second in the college entrance examination? When it comes to competitive dungeons based on real skills, you can still be invincible for an era and become the leader. "Dad, my gains are indeed great, but I am not the leader." Yi Chen scratched his face with his index finger, feeling a little embarrassed. "You have gained so much, yet you are not the leader. Are you kidding me?" Yi Xiaoyao was amused. "Dad, I'm telling the truth. Let alone the leader, I can't even be ranked in the top 5. Yi Chen sighed. He knew very well that Yi Xiaoyao, as one of the 4 gods of war in China, could not hide some things and had to tell the truth. "You can't even be ranked in the top 5. How is that possible? As the son of my savage god of war and an SSS level ancient boxer, how can you not even be ranked in the top 5? Yi Xiaoyao was anxious and was already pulling the belt around his waist. There are only 4 SSS level professionals in this year's college entrance examination, and Yi Chen is one of them. Now that Yi Chen can't even get into the top 5, he has brought shame to the Western Military Region, so naturally he needs to be taught a lesson. "Dad, I have tried my best, and this matter is really not my fault." Yi Chen quickly covered his head with his arms, fearing that Yi Xiaoyao would slap him in the face. "Isn't it your fault? Is it possible that if you can't move up the rankings, you still have to blame others? Or is it that Xu Luoxia and Xiao Fan teamed up to target you, causing your points to completely fall behind?" Yi Xiaoyao laughed angrily. Yi Chen quickly said, "It's all Lu Chuan's fault." "Dad, please explain slowly." "It's Lu Chuan's fault. What impact can a C-level river god and a useless profession with no potential have on you? You brat, you can't even make up any excuses, you just want to fool me." As soon as he finished speaking, Yi Xiaoyao pulled out his belt and made a sonic boom. "Dad, Lu Chuan's profession is indeed the river god, but his strength is completely different from the previous river gods. His river god domain is very large, and everything I can see is covered. And everyone covered by river god domain has received a 160% increase in all attributes." Yi Chen spoke quickly, fearing that he would be slapped by Yi Xiaoyao again. "All attributes increased by 160%. This skill is really powerful, but what does it have to do with you not even getting 5th place? If your profession is SS level, it doesn't matter if you can't get into the top 4. But your profession is the same as mine. You are an SSS level ancient boxer. If you can't even get 5th place, you will lose not only your own face, but also my face." Yi Xiaoyao whipped him again. Even though Yi Chen was thick-skinned, he still couldn't bear it. He explained again. Lu Chuan was very lucky. He found the bug as soon as he arrived at the Battle of Soul Sacrifice. And he also told Xu Luoxia, Sha Yubing, and Tang Yu about this bug. The top 4 people who caused the Soul Sacrifice battle were all from Lu Chuan's side. Don't mention me, even Xiao Fan and Lu Rian have to line up behind these 4 people. A bug allowed 4 people to be far ahead. Why is Lu Chuan so lucky? After Yi Xiaoyao hesitated for a moment, he asked, "What's your rank?" 7th. Yi Chen found it difficult to say. If he hadn't spent impulsively and used 50s level elemental stones to open the teleportation route to the altar, Lu Rian would not have overtaken him. It's still time to fight. Even if Lu Chuan didn't find the bug and didn't share the bug, you are still at the bottom of the SSS class. Yi Xiaoyao was annoyed. In this battle of soul sacrifice, even the 7th place has gained so much. If Yi Chen can be more ambitious, it will not be a problem for the Dark Gold Demon Tiger to reach level 70. Southern Military District. The Grand Commandery Mansion of the Southern Territory. Well done, my daughter. I gained 49 million points in this soul sacrifice battle, and can easily crush Xiao Fan and Yi Chen, who are both gods of war. Burning god of war Shu Houshan was very pleased. Dad, my ability to have such high points has a lot to do with brother Lu Chuan. When Lu Chuan was mentioned, Shu Luoxia smiled sweetly. Brother Lu Chuan, Shu Houshan frowned. I would like to know how Lu Chuan helped you in the battle of soul sacrifice. Lu Chuan was the first in the soul sacrifice battle and had as many as 48 billion points. He had already found out about it. He didn't know how Lu Chuan got so many points. He only knew that Lu Chuan was a sea-level river god and had no potential. He didn't want his daughter to marry an incompetent man, so he was a little unhappy when Shu Luoxia called out such an affectionate name. Every resource point in War of Soul Sacrifice is far apart, just a few hours away. And one resource point can only obtain 50 elemental stones within 24 hours. The cultivation effect of unsuitable elemental stones will be greatly reduced, so the luck component is very high. On the first day, I had very bad luck. I only gained 3,200 points. I couldn't compare with SSS level professionals such as Xiao Fan and Yi Chen. Brother Lu Chuan has a skill called Undercurrent. It can connect various resource points in Soul Sacrifice battle and teleport at will. With my extremely strong map running ability, I overtook Xiao Fan and Yi Chen and have been firmly in second place since then. Shu Luoxia became more and more enthusiastic as she talked and was very grateful to Lu Chuan. If it weren't for Lu Chuan, she would definitely be at the bottom of the SSS profession, and it would be impossible for the red bird sacrifice spirit to transform into a level 75 burning sky bird. Extremely strong map running ability. As a river god, Lu Chuan actually masters this method. Shu Houshan nodded, somewhat recognizing Lu Chuan's strength. With just one skill, he could omit the most time-consuming journey of the soul sacrifice battle, which was indeed of great help to Shu Luoxia. Shu Luoxia sighed with emotion, and brother Lu Chuan's undercurrent not only helped me, but also helped everyone in the soul sacrifice battle. If it weren't for brother Lu Chuan, everyone's gains would be greatly reduced. There are 5,000 people involved in this soul sacrifice battle. How can Lu Chuan help everyone with just one skill? Shu Houshan smiled and shook his head. Shu Luoxia said, I don't think it's possible either. The map of Battle of Soul Sacrifice is very large, and the communication equipment in reality cannot be used at all. Even if brother Lu Chuan's undercurrent can be used by 5,000 people at the same time, the method of using undercurrent must be passed on to everyone first. If we can't even deliver information, it's really more difficult to help everyone. Shu Houshan nodded, agreeing with Shu Luoxia's words. Shu Luoxia smiled and said, Fortunately, brother Lu Chuan has great powers and has built a teleportation shaft every 10,000 meters. And through exquisite control, the river water is like a mobile phone panel, enabling remote information transmission. If it weren't for brother Lu Chuan, most of our time would still be wasted on the road. Wait a minute, Lu Chuan just uses teleportation skills to connect various resource points, but he also builds teleportation points every 10,000 meters. Shu Houshan could not calm down. According to Shu Luoxia, Battle of Soul Sacrifice is a very large dungeon. If you want to visit every resource point, it will take at least 7 or 8 days. Lu Chuan established a teleportation point every 10,000 meters. How many teleportation points must be established in the Battle of Soul Sacrifice to achieve this? The duration of the Soul Sacrifice battle was only 3 days in total. Lu Chuan achieved such a feat in just 3 days. He is definitely a strategic talent. Moreover, Lu Chuan also possesses amazing communication capabilities. He can transform river water into a panel and establish remote communication with 5,000 people. He can be called a humanoid server. How much computing power is required to achieve such a feat? Dad, brother Lu Chuan's abilities are more than that. His undercurrent can not only teleport people, but also items. Everyone can freely trade their favorite elemental stones through the Riptide panel. With the help of brother Lu Chuan, the speed at which we obtain resource points has drastically improved. Shu Luoxia spoke again, shocking Shu Houshan again. Lu Chuan really hides his secrets. He is worthy of being the son of the strongest man in China, the sky-slaying god of war. Shu Houshan looked happy. Lu Chuan helped his daughter secure second place in the Battle of Soul Sacrifice, so he was probably interested in his daughter. In addition, the two are childhood sweethearts, so the possibility of getting together is very high. When Lu Chuan awakened the sea-level river god, he was still worried. What if Shu Luoxia is a love brain, and Lu Chuan still wants to marry him even if he has a useless career? But now it seems that all his worries are unnecessary. Lu Chuan's potential is very strong, and his position as hereditary replacement must be stable. Looking at the whole of China, there is no better son-in-law than Lu Chuan. The Lu family in the imperial capital. Ruyan, your performance is very good, your ranking in the soul sacrifice battle is higher than that of a god of war. Now the top 10 universities in China have extended an olive branch to you. You must be patient and let them compete first to maximize your own interests. Lu Yechen, the head of the Lu family, was very pleased. There may not be one SSS-level profession among tens of billions of people. Therefore, when Lu Ruyan awakened to her career, countless universities wanted to offer her admission. However, he was not impatient and still asked Lu Ruyan to take the college entrance examination in order to gain greater attention. Nowadays, Lu Ruyan's college entrance examination results and soul sacrifice battle rankings are very dazzling, and the benefits promised by major colleges are naturally greater than before. Dad, I want to go to the Northern Military Academy. Even if the treatment is worse than other schools, I will still go. Lu Ruyan's words were extremely firm. Why? The Northern Military Academy is indeed good, but Imperial University, Watching University, Southern Military Academy, Western Military Academy, and Eastern Military Academy are also not bad. When the teaching resources are almost the same, naturally choose the one who has the most benefits. Don't be impatient. Lu Yechen frowned, his attitude was equally firm. Dad, I want to have more contact with Lu Chuan. Only by entering the Northern Military Academy can I get closer to the water and get the moon first. After Lu Ruyan told the reason, her pretty face turned red. Lu Chuan's points in that soul sacrifice battle are really high, but his profession is sea-level river god. How weak this profession is very clearly recorded in the history of the human race. Don't do anything stupid. Putting your target on Xiaofan and Yi Chen is your safest decision. Lu Yechen said earnestly. Lu Chuan's profession is the river god after all. Even if he got 48 billion points in the soul sacrifice battle, he still has a lot of merit. After all, Lu Chuan's father is China's strongest sky-destroying god of war, and it is very normal for him to master some great means that he doesn't know about. Dad, don't underestimate Lu Chuan. During the decisive battle of the soul sacrifice battle, Lu Chuan's river god domain covered the entire battlefield, allowing everyone to enjoy a 160% all-attribute bonus. If it weren't for Lu Chuan's help, those who participated in the soul sacrifice battle would not have been able to achieve such gains. Lu Ruyan said seriously. Covering the entire battlefield, allowing 5,000 awakened ones and 5,000 sacrificial spirits to receive a 160% all-attribute bonus. As a river god, Lu Chuan is actually so capable. Lu Yechen was stunned. Lu Ruyan continued. Not only that, Lu Chuan also controls a blood-yellow river. When the dungeon boss is damaged, he will bear an additional 50% soul damage. With this skill, Lu Chuan's damage is at least half that of everyone else, so he has 48 billion points, more than 900 times more than the second place. Provide allies with a 160% increase in all attributes, and allow the enemy to withstand an additional 50% soul damage. As a river god, Lu Chuan actually masters 2 god-level skills. In addition, Lu Chuan's father is the strongest warrior in China, the god of war, and he is indeed your best bet. Lu Yechen instantly understood Lu Ruyan's thoughts. Xiaofan and Yi Chen are indeed excellent, but compared with Lu Chuan, they are still far behind. Dad, in order to see Lu Chuan as soon as possible, I want to enter the Northern Military Academy in advance. Lu Ruyan couldn't wait any longer. As the legitimate daughter of the Lu family in the imperial capital, she has seen too many outstanding men, but Lu Chuan is the only one who makes it difficult for her to be reserved. Go ahead. As far as I know, the Burning Sky War God has long wanted to marry the Zhan Tian War God. Your competitor is Shu Luoxia, Queen of the God of War, so don't be careless. Lu Yuchen never thought about letting Lu Ruyan monopolize Lu Chuan, as long as he occupied a large position in Lu Chuan's heart. Lu Family Great Hall. The senior officials of the Lu family were like auctioneers, recording the admission commitments from major colleges with excitement on their faces. Ordinary students who want to enter the top 10 colleges must pass fierce competition. Nowadays, the top 10 colleges are also competing fiercely to recruit Lu Ruyan, and they are even blushing. The people from the Southern Military Academy are really willing to spend their money. Bai Yuxuan, the leader of the Ice Bear Legion, was filled with sighs. He was recruiting Lu Ruyan on behalf of the Northern Military Academy. With his authority, he could no longer offer a higher offer. He had to report it to the senior management of the Northern Military Region. In this soul sacrifice battle, everyone has gained a lot, and their potential has been greatly improved. Therefore, the competition between the major colleges has become more intense than before. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.